All right, got to get the disclaimer up there just so that there's no confusion.
Word. I see it.
We've got some things to say.
What you got to
I got some things to say. I might have the hot take.
Uh-oh.
I might have the hot take.
Oh no.
What's going on, people? Welcome, geeks, boys, girls,
That
geeks
man
of
said he
all
got the
ages.
hot take.
How is everybody doing? It is Weigh In Wednesdays. I am your host, Sam. We are Grown A Geeks. Joining me tonight for the start of this show, we've got, oh, look at me. I'm so lucky. I've got the Davids.
Yes. And he has to disappear for just a second.
Not a problem. I've got the Davids in the house. And we are live.
And the Pam.
And we've got the Pam. We've got the Sam and the Pam and the Davids.
She hiding again.
That's all right. She contributes, so I'll allow it. So let me get all my visuals up, and we're gonna dive right in because, man,
it's been a week.
Let's see, get that volume knocked out there. So we're there, and we are live everywhere. So all right, we're good. And man, we'll get to Prey. I gotta talk about Prey.
Which I will say I have not watched that because we don't have Hulu.
It is like,
but
I've got a lot of mixed feelings on Prey, so we will definitely be diving into that. Let me get my link shared real quick. So, as people may or may not know, this is Weigh In Wednesdays, where you get to be a part of the show. So let me start by throwing a comment in here. I'm going to post the link for the show for anybody who wishes to be a part. Simply click the link and hop on in. We will try to post all comments from everybody who's participating. And let me share this on my page real quick, just so all of my people will know that I am live. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening. A lot of shows, a lot of movies. We'll start with Uncharted. I got a chance to watch Uncharted recently. And that was due to HBO Max. So
yes,
I thank HBO Max for No, that was Netflix.
Was that? Yeah, that was Netflix.
Yeah, that was Netflix. I watched Uncharted on Netflix. I watched Harley Quinn on HBO Max.
Yeah, we are 7 episodes in on that. 7? No, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I love that show.
Her response was, "Oh." Because she was getting into that. We're on episode 8 of Sandman.
Okay.
We haven't finished it. We're close. What?
I can't find my board.
What board?
Get that.
Well, you can use this one, and we've got the new one. So,
I'm trying to think. What's the last episode of Harley Quinn? I know episodes come out on Thursday on that.
Of what?
Harley Quinn. I'm trying to think what the current episode is. I'd have to get that pulled up to see. Where's my phone? I have no idea where my phone is.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah. That is got a glare.
This is you don't need to see it. There's nothing on it. That is the lighter pattern.
Oh.
So
that's the lighter pattern. So custom Southdown Leatherworks lighters. What do these normally run?
Why
15?
are you looking at me?
Because you're the one making it.
Now that's 15 if you provide the lighter. If a lighter has to be purchased, 25. Okay. 25, and that includes a lighter.
Yes.
Okay. Southdown Leatherworks. Let me show you. This is mine, my custom Superman. And it is a nice Sippo. It is refillable. It's lovely. I love it. Yeah, so I was gonna try to look and see what episode of Harley Quinn we're on, but
Well, see, we're like way behind because we just started watching Harley Quinn.
oh, no worries, no
We're
worries.
still on
It's such a
season
great
1.
show.
But
I could not believe that is Penny. That is
Right?
Penny. Kaylee Cuoco, Cuckoo,
Cuckoo.
Coco, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But yeah, that's Penny from Big Bang Theory. She's the voice
Yes.
of Harley Quinn, and you can hear it come through a lot of times. And I appreciate that. It sounds really good.
Mhm.
It's kind of funny, but it's such a great show. And we're gonna let David chill for a bit. When he comes back, we'll bring him back on. Gotta have my boom, get my ticker going, and while we are waiting, I also want my. There we go.
Yes.
It's so pretty. It's so official. But yeah, so I've been watching. Let's see. I've been watching Sandman. I've not finished it, but I've been watching it, and I'm one of the purists who read the original comic. I listened to the audiobook, and I even posted, because for those of you who don't know, you can click the QR code there in the corner, and it'll take you to our Facebook group. And I know I posted one time in our Facebook group that the Sandman was free on Audible. There was a free
Really?
audiobook available, and it had like a whole all-star cast and things like that. And I really enjoyed that. That was a good listen, and it was, of course, unabridged, so you get the whole graphic novel there. So
I'll have to check that out.
And in addition, if you recall, we were going through my DC Infinite recently. And on DC Infinite, Sandman is in DC Infinite. So anybody who subscribes and has DC Infinite, you can actually watch and see that there as well. Let's see. Yo, wait a minute. Let me put my man in here. Like Wesley Riddick. What's going on, homie? That's the homie right there. I'm glad he enjoyed Sandman. That's what's up. I enjoyed Sandman as well. All versions of Sandman that I've listened to, read, and now watching have been fantastic. And I recently went back and reread Sandman in DC Infinite just because I knew that it was going to be coming to Netflix. And so in order to what's going on, man? In order to be fresh and know exactly what was happening and whatnot, I went back and reread that. So I've had a chance to thoroughly enjoy, and it was funny because I posted earlier. I actually had a post where I was talking about Neil Gaiman actually says like no gatekeeping is allowed on this show. Like it came from the creator, no gatekeeping. So when the creator says no gatekeeping, you have to respect that. You have to go with that, and not be the purist to be like, well, this character here and that character, you know. So it's been a pleasure going through and enjoying it, and I've enjoyed the cast too. That's been kind of a little surprise that came through. Let me find this post. I want to share that post and have that up just for the visual because I thought it was a good post. There we go. Let's click that. Boom. And we're going to show that because it needs to be seen. People need to know every once in a while. And there it is. Neil Gaiman himself says nobody gets to gatekeep Sandman. Not as a comment, not in the Audible adaptation, and definitely not on the TV. There's no entrance exam, nor should there be. Everyone is welcome. So I just feel like that fits.
That is awesome.
That's so in line with how I feel about things when it comes to what
anything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially here at Grown A Geeks. That's like that's our thing. And so of course, when we have these gatekeepers that come through and you know, like, oh well, in the comic they said this and da da da, you know. And even earlier when I posted this, somebody was like they didn't care for the audiobook. And I was like, really? Wow, I really enjoyed the audiobook. But they pointed out what they did not like is as an audiobook, they just want one person reading the book. They don't want to go through the cast and have all these different voices to kind of keep up with. It's usually easier when you have one person on an audiobook doing all of the voices than when you have like, it's almost like a production. It's like watching a movie but not watching it because you have different voices for different characters. But
And to me, like, because one of the series I listen to on Audible is, of course, The Wheel of Time, and
Okay.
there are two narrators for that. One's male, one's female, and the predominantly male portions of the book, it's the guy talking. The predominantly female portions of the book, it's the woman. And to me, it kind of differentiates that a bit better. And I can see where, as a graphic novel being read by multiple people, as long as each character is a different person and they're not like, because I haven't listened to the Audible book, so I don't know. But as long as each character is a different person, I would latch more onto that than I would with one person reading the whole thing.
well, the casting was phenomenal. So you have Jeffrey Wright as Destiny, Bill Nighy, he was Odin, Kristen Shaw, John Lithgow, James McAvoy was Morpheus, Kat
Nice.
Dennings as Death,
Them
Newworth
some
as
names.
Bast.
Them some names.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it was such a phenomenal cast. That to me actually helped draw me in on the audiobook. So that was a plus for me there. But again, I do listen to audiobooks, and some audiobooks actually benefit from having the one person because it's a little less distracting. That voice, like they may alter their voice slightly to it softens up if it's a female, it hardens up when it's a male character, that kind of thing. And so you're able to kind of keep up a little better. When you hear an entirely different voice, you're like, wait, did I miss part of something change in the conversation? So I get it. And again, it just comes down to preference, and there's nothing wrong with people having their own preferences. But let me see if I can find this just real quick. Try to pull up my HBO Max. I'm trying to figure out how many episodes of the new season of Harley Quinn there have been. I know
It's
the
like
last one.
5,
Is it 5? Are we up to 5?
I think.
What season are we on now?
3.
Okay. So
Season
yeah, we're
3.
way behind.
We're getting there.
Yes.
No,
we're getting-
take your time.
Mhm,
Take your time, get there.
Sam, what color do you want this?
Black and red would be fine. I don't think there's I don't know what the color preference is, so we're just gonna go with black and red.
Okay.
So it looks like mine, it matches. With the white stitching also.
Oh yeah, that's a signature for all my projects.
Yeah, she only uses white stitch or white thread.
I was
Okay.
mistaken. It's 4.
4 episodes, yeah. And I thought I saw that one was the last one. I didn't think I'd missed anything yet. But that was a very interesting episode.
Feels like it felt like 5. There was a lot going on.
A lot was happening in that episode, and we won't ruin it for those of you who have
Yeah.
not seen it. But check it out.
Just know that there is a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. It compares as strongly as Herogasm did for the boys. So for those of you who got an opportunity to enjoy that episode,
Quote enjoy.
Right, check it out in animated form. I do like the freedom and the liberation that comes with animation sometimes, and I think that is very underrated, and more projects should be animated just because it does give freedom of movement. And I think like not having to attach yourself to a stigma when it's animated, you can kind of just write it off. It's a cartoon, even if it has adult themes and things like that. And you can be very morally ambiguous with what you do because these are animated characters, as opposed to seeing an actor or an actress do something on screen, and now they have to remember some point later in the interview somebody's going to ask, because people are always going to ask Jessie about Showgirls. I know Jessie isn't her name, but when she comes from Saved by the Bell, then goes to Showgirls, that's you now,
Yeah.
and so that becomes a part of your repertoire that is on your resume, and that's not going anywhere. But in animated, when you just attach a voice to it, it gives a little bit more freedom. And I do believe that just having the, like as a big fan of anime, there are things you can do in the anime in terms of visuals that you can't accomplish the same in terms of live action. And CGI is only
It's one of the big bottles.
CGI is only so good, as everybody talking about She-Hulk continues to remind us. The CGI can only be so good.
Could already be a dauber.
However, I think it's worth pointing out that I have issues with Prey, and CGI was one of them. So we'll get to Prey. We will get to Prey. So how's everybody been enjoying Sandman? Let's start there.
Dude, I am loving it. All right, you got to come over here just based on that reaction. You got to get in on this one. I'm making you.
No.
Yes.
So is this viewing your first experience with Sandman? Have you read the comic, or because I know you said you haven't heard the audiobook, so this is the first time Sandman?
Straight into the TV show.
This is the first comic she has ever touched.
Oh, that's right. We did Watchmen. That's right, because we were talking about that last. Yeah. Very good. Well, Sandman's a good way to go for number 2. So opportunity presents itself and you can get your hands on the Sandman comic. That's a really good one. And it's standalone. It still ties in with a few spots, some crossover characters and such, but it is its own thing. So you don't have to have like this extensive knowledge. Everything is right there in that book. Heroic Hat. Is this your first experience with Sandman?
It is not. Actually, I have not even started Sandman yet. I read the comic a while back, but I have not started the movie.
Okay, it's a series.
Yeah. I have not started yet. I've been hearing good things. It's on the list. I just haven't, there's been a lot of things that have been happening this past couple of weeks, so I just hadn't gotten around to it yet.
No worries.
But
since it's not your first experience, you will be able to enjoy. Having read the comic previously, I think you will definitely enjoy, because I've been a big fan. Having reread it just in preparation.
And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to reread it just before I jump headfirst into the series. But I don't know. I might just hop in anyway. I might just hop in.
I mean, it's worth it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So it's let's see, let me click that. There we go. Okay, got that up. Thought that was already up, but it was not.
Yeah.
So the casting for the series has been a big plus. I wasn't really familiar with. Okay. So Wesley is saying this is his first time seeing Sandman. So I'm not going to make you type too much there, but you could just give a simple like yay or nay. But you've already stated that you thought it was, dope. So we know you like it. And well, did you finish the series? I guess we can ask that, Wesley. Have you had an opportunity to finish the series? Because I'm honestly kind of taking my time with it just because I don't want it to be over. And I know as soon as I finish it, I'll have to move on to something else. So I've been kind of moving slow.
Well, see, we've been doing 2 episodes a night.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Our evening wind down is we dinner and then Sandman our 2 episodes and
then bed.
Yes. But it has sucked me in. Episode 1, I have to say, was one of those questionable episodes for me. It was, am I really going to get into this kind of thing?
And there were certain points where it was kind of like, to me, it was kind of like, oh my God, this better get more exciting. And I mean, I realized there's a lot of build up for it and whatnot. But then episode 2, it just like grabbed you by the front of the shirt and said, "You're watching. You're
Yeah, you're definitely going to stick with it. And I won't even say getting through the first episode, but knowing that the first episode is kind of your starting point and having to progress from there. I think it did a very good job progressing through and getting you on to everything else that is going to take place. And I'm very impressed with just how well they've managed to adapt the story. The comic story is adapted very well. And without following every line word for word, they've covered each book correctly. And there's some little moments here and there that kind of get added in. Patton Oswalt as the voice of Matthew. that was a plus.
Why does that voice sound familiar? Like that has been driving me crazy since we met Matthew.
See, well, because
you've been in a lot of stuff.
Because it's Patton Oswalt. Like I don't even know how to. Yeah. Let's see. I will just. Here's a bunch of Patton Oswalt, just so you can. That's Patton Oswalt. You might know Patton Oswalt, Parks and Rec.
Nope, didn't watch that one.
He's a stand-up comedian, very iconic voice. So, he does a lot of voice work. That could be it.
I think my favorite thing about Sandman has been
just boom, 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 went right through the episodes. I can see that. It's easy to do.
Oh yeah.
But I think my favorite thing about it has been those little aha moments, like we had in the last episode we watched last night, when we realized what was happening. Because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't watched it. So for us, having that aha moment we had last night was,
and that was episode 6.
Which characters are you referring to as for the aha? Was it one of the Endless?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about in that episode.
Right, but it's as you're watching it, you're like, you feel the wheels clicking and the pieces falling into place, and then you're like, oh, okay. So those are like my favorite parts of the show, is when you have those little moments, especially not having any kind of reference points from a comic or anything.
Right.
Having those moments is what I like most.
And I think that's one of the things that helps carry the story along and keep you invested. Because it is very easy to, I won't say be distracted, but you could easily like fall out from it because there is so much happening and so much stuff that you have to like kind of keep up with from episode 2 and remember that in episode 3. So when you have those aha moments and it takes you back to something earlier, that's always a plus. And I would say episode 4 has been my favorite so far. And that was the episode with Gwendolyn Christie. Big, what is she, like 6'4", 6'5", big huge blonde?
Yeah.
I love her. She's such a great actress, and that was such a great role. That would be a big spoiler. But just
telling who she played,
and that whole segment. That segment was great because that had one of the most jaw-dropping mic drop moments in the series so far.
Oh yeah.
And that walk-off, that was like cool guys don't look at explosions kind of moment. And I loved it.
But see, even that was an aha moment for at least me. Because the three of us talking about that situation.
Right.
That was one of those aha moments for me.
The general premise, for those who aren't familiar with Sandman and why we're so hyped about it, the general premise is Lord Morpheus, ruler of the dream realm.
I'm just gonna stop you right there and say, sexy voice man.
I have no idea who Sexy Voice Man was though, and that's probably the only thing that bothers me. Just in a weird like, who is he? What has he done? What's his resume? But it's also kind of cool that I almost feel like it's an unknown, and as a result, I'm not associating him with another character and making that comparison. That allows it to be fresh.
You mean like Matthew being a rat from Ratatouille?
Precisely. Okay, so you were able to link the voice?
Yes.
Gotcha. Went through his IMDb and put it together?
Yes, I had to find Rooney.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, like, you, since it is something new, something different, something fresh, that does help. And I'm always a fan of unknown casting because it gives other people an opportunity to shine. You're always going to have those moments where people watch something because this person's in it. But, you know, that's your box office draw because as we were talking about, and I think I mentioned we may discuss this, but like with the new Black Adam movie coming up, everybody's like, oh, let's see what DC does with this. And it's like the movie's going to do well financially because The Rock is in it.
Yeah, like there are going to be so many people that go see it just because it's The Rock.
I mean, it's The Rock. It's a comic book movie. Somebody had pointed out, like, it'll be because it's PG-13, that'll automatically make it kid friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone is going to be a bit of a draw. And I think, you know what, since we're there, because there's not a whole lot more I could say about The Sandman other than please go watch it so we can come back and talk about it. In fact, I need to put up a spoiler thread so that we can like really go in on it. Everybody's kind of giving their opinions. They like it, they don't like it, and whatnot. But we haven't had a spoiler thread in group in a while. Speaking of group, be sure to click that QR code so you can find us on Facebook. Be a part of our daily chats.
Talk to them.
Make sure you like and subscribe so we can do this all day, every day. This is what I want to do. And once we blow up and we get to that point, I can just put David on games all day long streaming.
Let's go.
And we'll do let's plays and watch us do reaction videos to anime and and stuff like that. We'll do instant reviews as we walk out of the theater. So that's where we're trying to get, and it all starts with a like and a follow. So if you enjoy the content, hit us up. But we were in our Facebook group. We actually had somebody had made a post, and they were asking how we thought The Rock would do. Well, they were making a comparison between the Black Adam movie that's coming up and the Batman. And did we think that this movie was going to be as good or perhaps better in comparison to the Batman? And all I could think to myself is like, on the one hand, I think we're kind of comparing two different movies, so it doesn't really seem fair. They're both comic book movies, but even the tone of the Batman is different than the tone we're kind of being shown is going to be in Black Adam. While I do think there would be some slightly darker elements because it's an anti-hero thing, I don't think it's accurate to say that it is a comedy versus a dark movie. Because it doesn't seem like it's, doesn't seem like it's slated to be a comedy.
Right.
There we go. I've got it pulled
Look up here.
Boom. So here's the post in question. And it says, given the current state of all things DC, I'm just going to call it now. Black Adam will not outperform or outstory the Batman, even with the megastar power of The Rock. It's not Wednesday, but feel free to weigh in. And I love that Damien. I love that Damien put that line in. So Damien gets a shout out. Thank you, Damien. I don't know if this would let me tag him. Let me see. I'm going to try to tag him. Right. That was so awesome. At Damien Kane. He's going to get the tag right here. Boom.
That is
but that's
black. But
that's his post. And the first thing that came to mind, of course, was
that one can never mind.
Are we comparing?
I was gonna say you could throw that one out.
The Rock. Are we comparing The Rock to Patterson? because I certainly feel like there are people who probably did not go see the Batman simply because it was Robert Pattinson. And they in their mind couldn't get over sparkly vampires. And that's the only thing that they can recall from him. And as a result, they're like, well, I'm not going to check that out. It's probably going to suck. What's he going to do? Now he's Batman. He's going to turn into a bat and be spark. Like there was all this like backlash on the casting choices when it initially came out. Haven't seen the movie. Pattinson, he crushed it. I think he did a fantastic job in the movie. But I really wonder if The Rock is a bigger box office draw.
Like, well, I know my personal opinion, I did not see Batman because of who was cast as Batman. I watched Batman because it was Batman.
Right.
I will watch Black Adam because it's The Rock.
Okay. That's fair.
Because I don't know about Black Adam. Like, I never really read those comics. I saw them pop up a couple of times.
I mean,
like crossovers, but
is there a lot to know? You know, Shazam. This evil Shazam. That's
okay.
I mean, in fairness, there's a lot more to the story.
But see, I didn't really know
Adam.
Shazam either.
Okay. Well, I mean that. And that right there is part of why it does make a difference to say people are going to go see Black Adam because The Rock is in it. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for the Kevin Hart cameo.
Right?
I just, you know what I'm saying? If there's going to be a Black Adam movie starring The Rock, I'm looking for the Kevin Hart cameo. You know what I'm saying? That's like Hollywood's Laurel and Hardy right now. They, a little dynamic duo. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be shocked if there actually is one. They're starring together in Super Pets.
See, I'd be shocked if there's not one.
Right. But see, I think other things that are going to be a draw, and what's going to happen is people are going to go see Black Adam. I genuinely think the movie could be pretty good, just based on the trailers that I've seen, seeing kind of what the story is, looking at who they've got, looking at some of the. They've got like Dr. Fate, they've got Hawkman, they've got Atom Smasher. Like they have the Justice Society in this movie. So it's going to have like some Silver Age comics vibes to it. And I think that's going to be a sufficient draw coming from DCEU. This will be separated enough to be different, but familiar enough to still kind of say like, this person could meet this person. You know what I'm saying? Like we can accept that Shazam and Black Adam could eventually cross over and meet one another, given their power sets. But it still comes down to the star power of The Rock. And I saw the Batman for a couple of reasons. One, comic book movie. That's the number one reason I went to go see it. That's the number one reason I'm going to see Black Adam, comic book movie. Number two reason, I really want to see how they do this story of Black Adam with Dr. Fate. I want to see Hawkman. I want to see some new characters and characters that I don't know and see how they're introduced and see if it gets pulled off properly that way. If the same director that did Shazam was doing this movie, doing Black Adam, I would probably go in, I would go in with a different mindset because I would be expecting something akin to Shazam. Since it's not, it has the opportunity to be its own movie and stand alone and not be directly linked to Shazam. So I think that's actually working in its favor. But like, what would be some of the other advantages the Batman has versus Black Adam? Because honestly, there's only a handful of people that I can list off as far as the cast of Black Adam where I was a little more familiar with the overall cast of the Batman. And I think that kind of makes a difference because with Black Adam, I only know Dwayne Johnson, Pierce Bronson as Dr. Fate, Aldous Hodge. Those are the only 3 names that I know. So everybody else is going to feel like unknown casting. But Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Penguin, Cobblepot, who played Oswald Cobblepot, had on all the makeup. It's escaping my.
Oh God, that was. Oh crap!
We were all talking about him, but nonetheless, Colin Farrell. Oh my God, that was bugging me. But
Colin Farrell played Cobblepot.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just knowing all of those characters going in, I was like, well, this should be pretty good. They've got an all-star cast. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got Jeffrey Wright in there as Jim Gordon. Sold. So I had high hopes for the Batman just based on. Thank you. Somebody was like, duh, Colin. But yes, Colin Farrell. Thank you. But I had that kind of going in, thinking like, since we have this casting, this should be a good movie. I was not disappointed, and a lot of that probably had to do with casting. As we get over here to Black Adam, I don't have the same amount of casting help to hype me up and make me confident. And I think they are kind of relying on the star power of The Rock to put butts in the seat. And I think it's going to do that. And then lo and behold, you accidentally have a good movie on top of that. People are going to get to talking about it, and it's going to do phenomenal. And since it is not directly linked to DCEU, I think it'll be safe. Oh, Harcourt is going to be in it from Peacemaker. She'll be in it, so I'll go check it out. I'll go see it. I can see it. She there. So let's see. Hatman, what's your take on this Black Adam versus the Batman thought? Like, where do you fall on that?
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Black Adam is going to do well solely because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is headlining. But to say that would be the only reason is vastly discrediting like what the Batman did. Of course, is very much going to be a wait and see type of deal until we actually like see the movie. But I mean, it's still going to do well regardless. I don't think that's a question in anybody's mind.
Right.
My only concern is if it would be like a one and done type movie, you know, like if they're going to try to force any kind of sequels out of this, or if there's even going to be any room for sequels, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the question of sequels is when it comes to, well, first let me address this question because it kind of ties in. Wesley's asking, not DC linked, what does that mean? So last week we were talking about the DCEU because they can't get their shit together over there at DC as a whole. And it looks like it's a revamping process that's kind of taking place. It might be too little too late because now they're saying, oh, we're working on a 10-year plan after the fact.
Bro, get year one down, bro. What are you talking about?
And it's like, so when does the 10-year plan start? Like, what is going to be your starting point? Are you going to reset and then do the 10-year plan? So that means our 10-year plan is 2 years away. So we don't have a 10-year plan. We have a 12-year plan. Just call it like it is. And if it's the studio head and like even Walter Hamada might be stepping down, that kind of thing. So DC has a lot of stuff happening, as they always do. And nobody really knows what's happening over there at the shit show that is WB and DC. They've actually dropped comics off of their name altogether, and now they're trying to be DC Studios. They want to focus more on blockbuster films. But since the DCEU doesn't have a straightforward path, it's hard to say if Black Adam is in fact going to be considered part of the DCEU, whereas the movie Joker was standalone. The Batman is standalone. And those movies, since they don't fall under the DCEU umbrella, they were not as restricted by trying to be part of. And I think it might even be more fair to call the DCEU is nothing more than the Snyderverse.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable to say.
And as they're moving away from the Snyderverse and they're trying to establish something different, they're finding more success in these standalones. The ones that are doing the crossovers doesn't seem to really be working out the way they want to, because just like DC Comics has always had a problem, their continuity is all jacked. And so unless we're going to do New 52 and then a Rebirth to kind of sync everything up, we are where we are as far as DC. So making Black Adam kind of a standalone movie and separating it from anything that's considered DCU is, I think, advantageous. And I believe it makes it easier to cross over with other things like a Shazam, simply because you don't have to lay the same groundwork. You've established, like, all they have to do is introduce the character, the Wizard Shazam. Let the Wizard Shazam give Teth his powers, and suddenly it's canon. And now these two exist in the same universe because this wizard is the same wizard. Since I feel like I saw a trailer that had him, I am just going to butcher name snipe. Digimon Houston, since he's the one that plays the Wizard Shazam, if he shows up as a Wizard Shazam in Black Adam, canon.
Yep.
And technically, I guess technically that would even link it and make it DCEU then, because Shazam is absolutely DCEU. It's the better part of the DCEU. But I think they do better with this movie to try to keep it separated and not have it directly tie in, and, you know, maybe don't reference Superman, maybe don't reference Batman. Because if you have the Justice Society, then the question kind of comes back, where was y'all at when Darkseid? I mean, not Darkseid. Well, yeah, where was y'all at when Darkseid was around? Where was y'all at when, you know, my man was trying to like get these mother boxes? Dr. Fate, you ain't think this would be a good time to hop out?
Yeah.
The fate of the planet, and you was like, nah, I'm good. Y'all got
nah. It was preordained. It's fine. it's fine. Don't worry about it.
You know what? This is not my fate. That's your fate.
This was supposed to happen. I'm gonna let it rock. It's cool.
You know what? He went the same route as Doctor Strange. This was the only way we were gonna win.
Yep.
So, you know, I looked ahead and saw what it needed to be, and I just figured, you know what? I can't really contribute anything.
I looked ahead. I said, I saw what was happening. I said, fuck that.
Right. So the director of Black Adam is actually, he did the movie Orphan. And I like Orphan. I like that movie. So I will give him. He also did Unknown with Liam Neeson. So I'm gonna just say that kind of gives him a clean slate. You did Orphan and you did a Liam Neeson action that wasn't a Taken. I feel like every Liam Neeson movie after Taken has been a different version of Taken.
It's Taken. That's all he does anymore. He's just doing Taken every single time.
You know what I'm saying? This is
is
Taken in a coma. This is Taken in a graveyard. This is Taken on a train.
Medieval fantasy Taken.
Right. You know what? This was Taken, but this time they took his son. Like that's every movie he's done lately has been just a riff on Taken.
It's Taken, but instead of his daughter, they took his dog, so it's John Wick.
Right. There you go.
Like it's just
it's funny you mention that because The Gray Man. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, but The Gray Man with Ryan Gosling. I got a chance to watch that probably about a month ago now. I watched it when I was on vacation, so I did get a chance to check that out. And seeing Ryan Gosling do Taken Part 14. Right. That's exactly where we are, Taken Part 14. But seeing Ryan Gosling as a CIA Black Ops operative kind of guy, is everybody going to try to do a John Wick now?
Yes,
they are. That's
because
it's fun.
Because it's fun and it makes money.
This is true.
So why not?
This is true. And I guess if I keep watching them, they gonna keep making them, huh?
Exactly. See, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem, Sam.
I am
part of the problem too. So I can't even I can't even say much.
I watched The Gray Man, and you know what? It had The Gray Man had Chris Evans, and it had Ryan Gosling. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, I kind of want to see Chris Evans play a bad guy. And he had like that really weird porn stash in it. So that was kind of funny. But it is very interesting. Fast and Furious is proof of if you make it, they will watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Yeah.
Sharknado is proof that if you make it, they will watch it. Evil Cap, exactly. That was what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Chris Evans as like the bad guy. And I got that in this movie. And he did such a great job as the bad guy. I enjoyed him more as the bad guy than Ryan Gosling in his John Wick-esque performance. And this is not to take anything away from Ryan Gosling. I will admit I'm actually a little more surprised than I thought I would be. He did really good in the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's an enjoyable, very predictable, very fun. Nothing that's gonna like shock you. You know how the movie ends when you start it, but it's still a fun ride, and there's nothing wrong with that. And see, it's like we got Bullet Train with an aging Brad Pitt going to do more action. Old guys got to get out and do the action. But you know what? Back in the day, they did that because John Wayne was action until that man passed, and that's not the best example because it's John Wayne. But Clint Eastwood was doing action movies till he couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like hell. Bruce Willis just stopped doing action movies. Just stopped. And probably would not have stopped. Had it not been for his condition, I don't think he would have stopped. He would have continued making them, and I would have continued to watch them as bad as they are. Because some of them are really bad. He has a few that are pretty good in there. There's a couple of hits, but mostly misses in all his direct to video. But I feel like that was like he knew that was coming, and it just progressed. So he like put out as many movies as he could, said yes to everything, so that he could essentially retire. That's how I feel that went.
See, I kind of liked Looper.
But see, Looper's, I won't say is dated, but that goes back a little further, and I think that was at a good point. I cannot find my phone, and I did not bring my drink, and I can't call the wife. I can't summon the wife to bring me something to drink. I'm parched.
Somebody call Sam so he can find his phone.
No, don't call it because it's probably not in here, and it's going to ring, and I can't get to it. It'll be fine. I'll live. I shall live. You know what? I'll try tagging my wife in this video and see if she like looks up and, babe, I need a drink. Help me out. But yeah, see, and so yeah, Looper was definitely on the upside of things when Bruce Willis was still putting out like hits. Let me see. Let me refer to my notes real quick because I actually had whole notes of what I wanted to discuss. And I know we brushed one of them, and then I just went left.
Yeah, because we started talking about Uncharted, and now we're talking about Bruce Willis.
Right, but that is honest conversation, and that's what Weighing Wednesdays is. Honest conversation. Uncharted. We do have to get back to Uncharted. Hatman, you watch Uncharted?
I have not actually. Like I said, it's been a busy couple of weeks for the Hatman.
You know what? I will say but you are exempt on Uncharted though, because you played Uncharted.
Yes.
So you've seen Uncharted. What I will say about Uncharted, and this is a plus, not a bad video game movie.
Really?
No.
It is not a great video game movie. It's no Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
But it's not Assassin's Creed either.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually promising.
It is.
That's actually promising.
I put it the Tomb Raider reboot.
Okay. All right.
I put it right there in the middle where it's like, you know what? They actually did a really good job adapting this.
They played a video game.
Right. They played that video game, but most importantly. Oh, there she is. My lovely wife is in my eye line and can assist me so that I am not dying of thirst over here and not extremely parched because I did not get my drink before I sat down. So the queen is here. She's gonna say hi. Hi, babe. Wave to the people. Camera's right there. Wave to the people. They can't see your hand. There you go. All right.
Hi, Dave.
She says, "Hey, Dave."
Hey, yo.
Dave's.
Right, Dave's. That's what I said. I have the Davids on. Dave's. Right, I have the Davids on. The other night I had the Jeffs on. Tonight I have the Davids on. So, literally, if you would be so kind, anything would be fine, but there is a preference. There is a preference for the podcast. So, Uncharted, Tom Holland. Why did everybody's? Oh, because I have the. I was like, why did everybody's names go away? Boom. Okay, so Southdown Leatherworks. I think I said one time before, this would be David, and that is Dave. Yeah. Because I always call him Dave, and I always call him David. So, Dave, we were talking about Uncharted and mentioned all of the Spider-Man vibes.
Yes.
That came, and that comes from and we got a Jeff on here.
Hey yo,
I heard something about Jeff's on, so I had to hop on.
Hey, there you go. There you gotta have the Jeffs.
I have been summoned.
Hey. Oh shit. My bad.
It's all good. I love live shows.
Okay.
Just take
That's
out
how
the
we doing it, huh? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Is that, you know what? Is that the one based on the game?
I don't know. I got it for my birthday. I just used it.
If that's the one based on the game, it knew what it was doing. It knows how we feel about the game. And it did not want to be on screen seeing us. Yeah. So it was like, oh no. It tried to hide. That's what was happening. Yeah, because we've ripped that game pretty hard.
See what you started, Sam.
What?
But, if I can just. Oh, so much better. Thank you. Love you. She's so awesome. So Uncharted gave off a lot of Spider-Man vibes. And of course, that's, largely due in part to Tom Holland. But it comes from, in the games, there is a lot of parkour.
Yes.
There is a lot of climbing. There is a lot of maneuvering stages and platforming. So it wasn't an incorrect kind of parkour. We just got a different vibe because it was Tom Holland doing the parkour.
And that's kind of what my question was. was, am I getting that Spider-Man vibe just because it's Tom Holland?
Yes. And I think it was because at any moment I was waiting to see Webb shoot out. Like,
right? Right. There's a whole scene with a helicopter, and I was like, oh, he can do that. He can jump over. Oh, wait, no, he can't. No, he can't jump over the helicopter. That's Nathan Drake.
I thought they did a pretty good job, though. I enjoyed the Uncharted movie for a video game adaptation. It was one of the better ones.
That was exactly what I said. It put me in the same mind of the Tomb Raider reboot, where it's a really good video game adaptation, and it's not a bad standalone movie.
Careful, you're learning.
Now, here's the problem.
Uh-oh.
It is extremely predictable.
Yeah.
All right, fair.
Especially whether you played the game.
Oh God, if you played the games,
there was no surprises. None.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. You are simply watching it because it's live action, and you know what? It's like watching all the cutscenes on a YouTube video of gameplay.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
I would agree with that.
And
I
so,
felt like I was watching parts of the movie at some point.
There are segments in there where it's like, if this was the game, this is where you would take control of the character. You actually have to do this platforming part.
Yeah.
And then you would go back to another cutscene, and it would continue on. So I mean, it was definitely an enjoyable watch. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, everything happens exactly the way you think it's going to happen in a movie. You know who does what, when they do it, and how. There's no twist or surprise, because every twist and every surprise is like, this is them. All right. I'm going to make this disappear. Are you watching? I made it disappear. It's so obvious. It's so like on the nose.
Telegraphed.
Thank you. Everything was telegraphed. And as a result, it's very formulaic. Very
formulaic. Yeah.
Formulaic. As long as you follow the recipe, it comes out as what you baked.
Right.
Okay, so I have never played the game. Yes, I've watched the movie. I was disappointed.
Oh. Do tell.
Like,
please elaborate.
It lacked, I don't know, it kind of lacked a finish for me. Like, yes, we ended and they, but it just didn't have that oomph of an ending that I like out of what is supposed to be an action kind of movie.
But they also, to me, gave a very good setup for part 2.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it sounds like sequel bait. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like
100%.
They made 4 Uncharted games. Yeah, so.
Technically more than that, but yeah.
The whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, all right, how are they going to set this up for part 2 at the end? And they did.
So set it up.
So.
But there again, so okay, having not played the game, if you're watching this movie, I could see how there's no big payoff. So that feeling of it not being done, it's kind of like Indiana Jones always wants things to go in a museum, right? It belongs in a museum. And it almost feels like he would rather it be gone than be in the hands of someone as a private collector or something like that. If it's not going to go in a museum to be on display, then it just needs to go away altogether. In this, it really feels like somebody should have damn won. Even if the bad guys won, even if one of the other people won, somebody should have won. And it felt like, I get what you're saying, it felt like there was no real winner.
Right.
However, and this is where, and hopefully nothing that I'm saying now feels like it's gatekeeping, but this is where, like, for those people who have played the games or are familiar with the franchise, we kind of knew they weren't going to put all of the games into one movie.
No.
So all they want to do in this movie is establish Nathan Drake, his capabilities. They gave us a good bit of Sully. Not really sold on Mark as Sully. I think Sully needed to be a little older, but I think the age works given the youth of Nathan Drake.
Yeah. Not only that, but they had good chemistry. The two of them.
Like, they did. I think everybody has good chemistry with Tom Holland, though. I and I'm not being funny. I swear that kid has to be the most charismatic actor out right now, because I feel like every time I see him on screen with somebody, they have good chemistry with him.
You literally just sit there, like, you see him on screen, you're like, oh, it's Tom Holland.
Right.
Like, and you can't help yourself. Like, it's just, he has that, like you said, that natural charisma.
Right. And honestly, I can see a point in his career further on down the road where all of a sudden a movie's going to pop up. You're going to hear the main character is played by Tom Holland, and you're going to go watch that movie because it is Tom Holland playing whoever.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm already there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
the movie he did with Daisy Ridley, I only watched it because it was Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley.
Talking about the one where they can feel their thoughts.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of it, but I want to see that. Why do I want to see it? Because Tom Holland's in it.
Tom Holland.
So, I know what you're talking about.
Now, David, I got one for you. I kind of feel like Tom Holland is still in his childhood actor almost stage. Like he's going to have another Cocoon or like he's going to develop to another level as
he's going to keep evolving.
He's got a final form.
This isn't even
his final form. Oh my god!
Exactly.
I do get that vibe from him though, that like we're seeing from him as an actor right now.
Yeah, this isn't even it.
Is his childhood acting stage. Like it's like Drew Barrymore when she was younger. And then as she got older and she made, all these movies and she did such a great job, and Drew Barrymore is another one of those actors that you can tell me she's in it. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So here's the question that I pose, and this is specifically for the TikTok clip. Let me put a timestamp right here. We try to blow up, man. We try to blow up. Got to do things.
Oh, trust me, I feel it.
So here's a question. Is Tom Holland going to evolve in front of us, or do we think he's going to take a small hiatus, come back and play like a bad guy to reinvent himself?
Oh, bad guy Tom Holland is not something I had actually considered.
He's just too bubbly and likable. Like it'd be all right. So Robin Williams is a perfect example for me on this one. 1 hour photo.
That's my boy. See, Jeff,
it was one of those. I had not watched Robin Williams in years, and then I heard he was in this 1 hour photo movie, and I'm like, oh, I'll check it out. It's Robin Williams. That movie still creeps me out. Still creeps me out.
Right? Like that was beyond disturbing.
So let me take you further down that rabbit hole. Remember, there was also Insomnia with Al Pacino.
Yes.
Father of the Year.
I don't remember that one. Father of the Year.
So here is your homework assignment. Robin Williams, Father of the Year. You've got.
I might have seen it, so I'm looking it up right now. Working at Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, like I can picture the cover of the movie. But I can tell you like the actor names at the top, and also I can't tell you if I saw it.
Wait a minute. Okay, that might not.
World's Greatest Dad.
Greatest Dad.
Okay.
World's Greatest Dad.
I'm gonna have to check this one out because I have not heard of this one.
And it falls under that same category of like not what you'd expect, but it was so good. And if you haven't seen Insomnia, it's an older flick at this point, but check it out. Al Pacino, Robin Williams, game of cat and mouse in the Alaskan wilderness. That's a really good one.
The best thing I liked about that was how they played up the never-ending daylight, never-ending sunlight, and how it messes with you.
Oh! Final Cut.
That was that was good. I remember that one.
Final Cut was Final Cut was like an early Black Mirror kind of thing. Because they had this technology where, like at people's funerals, they could go in, extract your memories, and make a like a highlight reel of your life. And this one person comes in. Robin Williams is the person that does the editing. He sees some stuff. Chaos ensues. Such a good movie. But yeah, like with Robin Williams, given that he had that moment where not really to escape Mork, but to not always be viewed as the goofy guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, we had Dead Poets Society. We had Fisher King. Goodwill Hunting. You know,
he had a couple points here and there throughout the years.
He had roles where you could see that he was, in fact, a very serious actor, or he could be a serious actor. But for every one of those, you had a Toys, you had a Good Morning Vietnam, you had
Mrs. Doubtfire.
It was about a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio at that point.
Yeah. And the only other one, what's the one? Patch Adams is kind of a cross in between, where it's like it's a serious subject, but it's Robin Williams trying to do a serious subject, so it's still kind of goofy. What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a super serious role. So he had that ability to show us he was a good actor, a real, truly, like, good actor. But 1 Hour Photo was like just something completely different. Insomnia was something completely different. Final Cut was just, those three movies in particular, they stand out when you look at his list of movies. Those three movies stand out as him stepping outside the box, doing something different.
Yeah.
And he nailed those. I think it's going to take something like that for Tom Holland to get away from, first of all, he's going to have a hard time not being Spider-Man. I think that's going to be his first.
He's already been pigeonholed into an action hero / between Uncharted and Spider-Man. And yeah, he's got that
Chaos Walking, Cherry. He's done a couple other things that are there, but I think because he got the fame and celebrity he got as a result of his appearance as Spider-Man, he's had that role now for a couple of years. And when I tell you he has like made that his role, I think the biggest problem for him is going to be getting that separation into something different. Something that's not kiddie.
Now I got a question for you, Sam. With the way the Marvel movies stay in the forefront, how much harder? All right, so Robin Williams, he made Good Will Hunting, he made Patch Adams, but 4 or 5 years down the road, those kind of fade. They're not movies in his current repertoire. They're in his catalog, so to speak.
Right.
With the way Marvel makes movies, like Tom Holland's in there. He's Spider-Man for at least another film or two, I guarantee you. And he's been Spider-Man for how long now? Like 6-7 years? So it's going to be much harder for him to break away from Marvel and make his own path in Hollywood than I would say it was for Robin Williams or one of these, where they were doing standalone movies that weren't part of a continuity, that when, all right, such and such movie comes out, well, you got to go back and watch Spider-Man this to make sense of this scene, or you got to watch. Spider-Man as a Marvel in general is going to stay in your forefront of your brain a lot more than these other actors, other movies have in the past. Yeah. It's going to take a lot more for Tom Holland to break away from Spider-Man than I think for other actors to break away from other roles.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Evans already did it. Just seeing him in The Gray Man.
I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list.
Yeah, check it out. And
I'm currently on a Game of Thrones kick, so I'm trying to get ready for House of Dragons. I'm in season 5.
House of Dragons, that drops
August 21st.
August
21st.
Okay.
Like
2 weeks from now. 2 weeks.
I saw it. I saw an article. Matt Smith had comments about House of Dragons and reminded us that there's a lot of sex in House of Dragons.
Oh yeah, never forget.
Like when Matt Smith says there might be too much sex in a movie, like in a show, like okay.
He wasn't the only one, though. There were several people that said there was a lot of sex in the first couple episodes. But having rewatched Game of Thrones recently, season 1 and 2, there is a lot of sex in Game of Thrones. Season 1 and 2, at least.
Well, I mean, the first episode opens up with that, doesn't it?
I mean, it's in the first episode, but it's not the opening scene. It's about halfway in the first episode.
No, but
the
first
they hit you with that shock
Game
value.
of Thrones, there's a lot of TNA compared to the later seasons.
They hit you with the shock value of in that first episode. And then when you find out that is you find out the lattice, you're like, wait, the hell am I watching? I didn't sign up for this.
Yes, you did.
I did. But now I'm invested.
I have to know what's happening here. So yeah, you get locked in. You get locked in, and you're stuck with it, and you have to know, and you're very much part of it. And by season 7, you're like, oh, okay, sex scene. Come on, fast forward. Let's see. Okay, I mean, until it's like a new person doing a sex scene, I don't care.
Right? How many times can you watch Tyrion do that?
Right,
like you know what I'm saying. I would probably wait now. You know what? Might be telling them myself.
We're talking about Tyrion now. We're talking about Tyrion now. Tyrion's an exception. So
you know what? Tyrion, every scene that Peter Dinklage did in this
Tyrion is right up there with Scanlan from Vox Machina for me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
there is something that is the character. 100%. Just because he's there, I have to know what's happening. Yes, I'm here for it because I need to know. I'm nosy. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to House of Dragons. I mean, it'll give me something else to add. You know what's so sad? There has been so much. What am I missing?
Nothing. I know what you're about to say because I feel this all the time. So,
like, when this new show comes out, there'll be another series that I can add to the watch list. And just in general, there has been so much good content out that, I mean, the most first world problem in the world to have.
Exactly.
But like, I have video games that are just so badly neglected. I am so happy that we got a chance to play games last week when we played Multiverses. I hadn't played a video game since then.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's my point. You know what I'm saying? And when we did DNF Duel, I hadn't picked up a game in so long, and it is just so sad because now I'm at that point where it's just like I just have to dive headfirst into more TV shows because I will be intimidated to go back to my consoles to try to play anything. I'll be intimidated to try to sit down and finish something because I almost feel like, you know what? I don't have a clue what's happening. I don't remember where I am. You know what? I'm only 4 hours in. Let's just start over.
And see, with me, it's a lot easier to just let a old TV show that I've already watched play while I'm working on leather projects. Because it's like it's something to listen to.
You just look up at the interesting
pay attention.
Yeah.
And I can't watch new shows without you being here. So.
Yeah.
See, at least I don't have that right now. That's one of the few things that I enjoy being single. I ain't got to wait on nobody to watch nothing. If I want to watch Sandman, I can watch Sandman. If I want to watch Uncharted, play. That's one of the few benefits to. Now, I'm not going to say I don't miss it. I don't miss being able to sit down on the couch with the girl and snuggle up and turn the show on and cuddle and watch the show and all. I get it.
Damn, she gets
but I can't tell you how many times that I got caught watching ahead or watching something that I didn't know she wanted to watch. She never said anything, but I should have known and not watched it without her.
No, let me tell you what I do.
So
every time there's something that's getting added to the watch list or something that I want to watch, I let her watch a trailer and I ask,
is this something
do you want to watch this?
Yep.
Well,
I have also evolved to letting her know I need to watch this by Wednesday.
I was trying so hard to watch Sandman. I watched like 2 episodes and I went straight back to Game of Thrones. Like I'm just hooked. I tried. Like the whole time I was watching Sandman, I was like, oh, this is great. This is ethereal. This looks good. I'm going to enjoy this. All I can think about is Tyrion. I've seen what happens in this next episode.
I should get my Tyrion glasses. It says on them, I drink and I know things.
Yep. I need a set of those. But
my brother's got one. I want one.
Now, Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't House of Dragons actually take place before Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
It is a prequel. It takes place about 200 years before Game of Thrones. It's during the heyday of House Targaryen. You're going to see a lot of white-haired. You know what I mean? Like you're going to see a lot of Targaryens. You're going to see a lot of. You might even see some stuff, a lot more about Volantis and Valyrian Steel. There's going to be like 20-something dragons in it. This is back before they started killing all the dragons off. So, and you're also going to see. You're probably going to see some magic because they teased with magic in Game of Thrones. Yeah. With the fire god and the House of the Undying and that kind of stuff. But dragons until Daenerys brought the dragons back, there wasn't really a lot of magic. That's what the House of the Undying guy was talking about when he stole the dragons from her. Was that his magic works best around them because they are magic.
Yeah.
So this is during a time period where there's 20 dragons in the world. So if some necromancer or sorcerer somewhere wants to cast some blood ritual, he's going to be able to do it because there's still magic. So it'll be really interesting to see that part of it. But I mean, anytime there's a prequel, I always, because you kind of know how it's going to turn out. Like there's certain things they're not going to be able to touch.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be able to wipe out House Baratheon as a surprise cliffhanger ending. They're not going to be able to. There's certain things they won't be able to do, just like the Lord of the Rings prequel.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, but I also know that there's certain things that have to happen a certain way in order for X to happen down the road.
When is that one coming out? Isn't that
September or October, something like that?
Yeah.
So right now I'm focused on House of Dragons, and then I'm waiting to hear about when they're going to actually premiere that, and then the next one after that for me is Wheel of Time. When does season 2 of Wheel of Time drop?
Don't get him started.
So
what was the other one?
What do you have thoughts on the Wheel of Time?
Do we really want to get into that again?
Hey,
I wasn't sure.
I enjoyed the Wheel of Time TV series. I will say they changed a lot from the books. but they also made it easier for people that have never read the books to get into.
What?
Because I'm
Keep
sorry,
saying that's a thing.
Eye of the World was 1,100 pages. The average Wheel of Time book, each book was at least 900 to 1,000 pages.
I know the one I'm currently on was 44 hours long in Audible.
Exactly.
What?
I've been asleep 20 minutes into that one.
A work week with overtime. What?
That's crazy.
Right.
Just from one book, and there's 13 or 14 books in the series.
14.
And I think 11 of those were written by Robert Jordan, and there's only the last 2 or 3 that Brandon Sanderson had to finish after he passed.
3. It was supposed to be one book.
But there was so much stuff that he left outline-wise.
Like
he had to actually...
Had he made the one book that it was supposed to be, it would have been like a 5,000-page book. Yeah, like there was no way it could be done in one book.
Now, the only thing I will say that that Wheel of Time did over Robert Jordan's books was I didn't need 22 pages describing the square in Emmons Field and the lay of the grass and which way the pennants were blowing.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, in the book, no, not even in the book. I was like, they're still talking about the field. They're still talking about the field. Okay, here's some action.
Tolkien told us you have to do that. George R.R. Martin confirmed it, and Robert Jordan is following suit.
Actually, I would say the other way around, Sam. George R.R. Martin came after Robert Jordan.
Then
the first.
Nonetheless, Tolkien told us you have to describe everything.
Yeah, I know. So
and because of that, you get the authors who, when they describe a location, they tell you which way the light shines off the glass. And it's that detail that gets missed when they do the adaptation and they do the live action. You know what I'm saying? Like the savvy-eyed viewer recognizes the scenery is right to the description.
Yes, that is true.
But the average viewer is just like, oh, that's pretty. It's like, no, you don't understand that they took like 4 days for that 2-second shot to look just like that.
Just like the book, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes that stuff gets missed and there's no appreciation. And I think cinematographers need a lot of credit for what they do when they create scenes and they recreate locations and things like that. And cinematography is going to be one of my points when I go in on Prey. So I'm
waiting to see that too. So I've heard good things. So
I may just do a solo live when I talk about Prey.
You did not like this.
Hulu's one of the few things I don't have. So
yeah, I was actually going to say if we're gonna get into Prey, I'm gonna step out and.
I have no problem because I really wanted, like, I put on all my armor so I could defend myself as I go in on Prey. Because I have thoughts and feelings. And the number one thing I have with Prey is I do not understand. Everybody's like so quick to defend Prey. Despite the poor CGI.
The Lord of the Rings.
Despite the very predictable conclusion. I won't say there was lack of action. The action was actually pretty good. I just can't get behind this being like the best one in the series. It's not even better than the damn original.
Oh, no.
All right.
See, I like Predator and Predators.
Predators was good.
Yeah, Predator.
Somebody was like, "This is the best one since the second." I was like, "You put Predators 2
with Danny
on the
Glover
high list, right?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "The Danny Glover one?"
No.
Like that is the worst one of the franchise. Predators versus Alien.
I love those.
Those were
I mean, they were so cheesy and predictable.
Requiem was like, are we still doing this? But I enjoyed that more than I enjoyed Predators 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
Predators 2 was pretty bad. It was, if you go back and watch it now.
Danny Glover was too old for that shit in that whole movie.
Exactly. And not only that, but
Danny Glover's been too old for a long time.
Everything in Predators 2 was dated. To go back and watch Predators 2 now just kind of hurts because, like, the cars, the cinematography, the way they shot things, it is so dated.
Wait. Somebody got something to say. Hold on. Who is it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, because that's all I wanted. All I wanted was somebody to come in here and say something good about it.
There goes. Look what you done did.
I like it.
Look what you done did.
The second best. Okay. Thank you.
There we go.
Please tell me what was the best Predator movie? I'll wait. I won't say nothing else till I get that response. I'll chill.
Oh my God.
This is what I've been waiting on. I'm gonna tell you. David, why are we waiting? I said I wasn't gonna say nothing. We'll talk about something else and we'll come back to Prey. Why are we waiting? So I got a chance. Remember, I was telling you I was watching The Outcast. So I finished season 1 and season 2 of The Outcast. I'm really mad because the one scene that I saw from The Outcast in a video clip that's like viral as hell was not in either season of the damn show.
Outcast?
The Outcast.
What is The Outcast on?
So I have VRV, which is okay. He's safe. Of course, the first one was the best one. Yes. Get to the chopper. Like, after I watched Prey, I immediately turned around and watched Predator. I watched Prey, and then I immediately watched Predator.
Oh, okay. I remember now what you're talking about. Okay. All right.
So
all right.
I'm going to let me see if I can find this one little scene. I don't know how to do this scene because every time I try to do this, shit gets flagged. What do I want? I want a YouTube. There is an animated scene of a fight that takes place, and my guy has a water bottle.
That one. Yeah. Oh man.
And when I tell you, so let me just do that. And what up, Dave?
I'm gonna step out.
Okay.
For a minute, because I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
Oh no, I'm about to go in on Prey. You haven't seen that, so you good. You can take you a breather.
Yeah.
Come on back. Boom. I'm gonna let him chill. Okay, so let's see. What is our timestamp? 128. Okay, cool. Because if I have to like cut this whole little segment, I will. But just watch this.
It's crazy. It goes wild, bro.
Oh snap! I got music. I got audio playing.
What am I watching now? Outcast?
This is called The Outcast.
And is this on Hulu, Netflix? What is this on?
I don't know where the hell this is because I watched 2 seasons of this and couldn't find this scene. But this fight scene is along like just check this out. My man said, "Nope, that's my hat." And then here we go. Nope. Weef.
Weef.
Hold that. I'm on you. Like, what is my man that does that? I follow this dude on TikTok, and he is so great. I watch all of his like compilations because he does voiceover for the compilations, and it almost seems like he's giving you a play-by-play.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It is so great. Yeah, right. Beak, 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 beak. There's a snake in my boot. So this fight was actually really good. I did watch that one. That was pretty cool. But I literally watched this animation, the whole thing, 2 seasons worth, to get that scene, to get to that fight, which does not exist in season 1 or 2. So season 3, I have to know about it. So here we go. Okay, so you know what? I'm mad because he's taking all of our argument for me instead. So you still have to defend this, sir. You still have to defend this because if it's the second best in your opinion, I got some issues. Now, what did I say earlier? I do want to talk about the cinematography in Prey. It was a beautiful movie. No question. I will absolutely 100% agree with that statement. It was a beautiful movie. The way it was shot, the angles, the lighting, the landscapes, the settings, phenomenal. It looks great in 4K. I cannot talk and give enough praises for that. The animal graphics could have been better. No, they could have been decent to start. Not they could have been better. Be honest. They could have been decent to start.
Going in.
It is one thing to say, like, okay, so, and this is why I brought up She-Hulk earlier, because when I see a movie like Prey, the only reason I'm not just completely hating on this movie is because it was released on Hulu. I don't think Prey is in the theater at all, correct?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. So if you release a movie on Netflix, if you release a movie on Amazon Prime, if you release a movie on Hulu, budget cap. I know that right off the bat. That's like a direct to video. And if you do a direct to video, at least you plan on recovering the money because people are going to go to the video store, rent your movie, and da 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 da. Now that we have direct to streaming, ain't no other way to recoup the money except for people just staying with the service to watch this. I don't think anybody went out and signed up for Hulu to go watch Prey. Let me just say,
I didn't.
Do not go sign up for Hulu to go watch Prey. Don't do it. Because you already know what happens in the movie. If you've ever seen a Predator movie, you know exactly what happens in this movie. There's no shock. There's nothing. All of the things that people like about this movie are none of the redeeming qualities for this movie. The things that actually make this movie good have nothing to do with the story of Prey, Predator, aliens, none of that shit. None of that is the good part of this movie. The only thing that was good in this movie is it's pretty. It's pretty to look at. So that's a plus. Especially like when you own a 4K TV and have a home theater and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's why we buy that shit. So that we could have movies like this that look good on it and sound good on it. There's a underlying story with Naru, who is a female Comanche. And of course, she is supposed to be like a gatherer. And in the village, there are hunters. And she wants to be a hunter. So, rejecting gender norms and standing up to be her own person and proving that she can be a hunter, blah, blah, blah. All of that.
Right.
Fantastic. 100% with that. I'm an ally. I believe that. And there's an actual scene in the movie. I won't ruin, but there's a scene in the movie. There's a little girl and there's Naru, and you see the little girl, you see Naru, and you're just like, ooh, single tear. Good job. Message received.
Right.
That is fantastic. Everything else.
About to say, where's the butt?
Everything else. Mediocre.
Damn. Not mediocre.
Mediocre.
That's crazy.
Okay.
There was nothing.
I mean, I was on the fence. I wanted to see it, but now I'm kind of like, all right, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I would not schedule anything around seeing it.
Okay.
If you wait for this to be a TNT movies for guys who like movies.
Wow.
Wait till TBS shows this every weekend for a month. It is nothing like, this is one of those rare occasions because I am like such a fan of trying to promote and triumph a movie. There was nothing about this movie that was like so fantastic. There is nothing about this movie that is like, why are people going in about how good this movie is? No, this movie is okay. It's mid. This is a C-.
Wow.
It is so mid. There's no gas in this. You know what? This is like, if you're the one that got to light it, it's straight. But if you got the second hit, you was good. You ain't even have to. I cannot for the life of me understand how people are just like, even Joseph, this is the second best movie in the series. Really, bro? Did you see Adam Brody and Predators? Predators was better than this movie. It had a better story. It had more was given to us about the characters. And then the way they have to interact with one another, I still agree that nothing is as good as the first one. Okay, so we got who is this? Like, okay, they coming in. So let's talk about it. Let me, you know what? This is what we gonna do. This is how I'm feeling. Where's the link? Copy. By all means, this is Weigh In Wednesdays. I invite you, please come on the stream. If you got a camera, if you got a mic, hop on in here. Let's talk about it. I want you to weigh in. Now, let's see. Here's some other ones. Her fighting skills were nice. She had hands. Okay, yes, I agree. She had hands. There were 2 dope fighting scenes in an hour and 30 minutes. There were 2 scenes that were worth watching.
So yeah, hands. Yeah, sure.
There were 2 scenes. But if you go into Predators, there were a bunch of fight scenes.
Excuse you, Rosie. What do you have trash on the bed again?
She was prey.
Is your dad not watching you?
And because she was prey and she was going up against a predator, I needed a little bit more than what we got. She spends the whole movie figuring it out. And then we get just like a little bit where it actually goes down. And wow, she evolved like hella fast. And the brother, like, my boy should have never been caught up the way he was caught up if they was going to come out like that. I cannot get behind this. I just can't. I cannot get behind this. It's not that bad. It's not that good either. I have no problem with disagreeing. If you enjoyed it, that is fantastic. I like when people like things. But this is one of those moments where like people constantly like to shit on things that I like. I refuse to call the movie trash. It was not trash. I will say that first and foremost. But this was a very, very, very basic ass story. There was nothing involved in this. There was no new ground broken. They did nothing innovative. They did nothing interesting. It was very basic. Like I said, it was mid. It was a C-. I liked how she finished it. Okay. But I think that also falls in under her fighting skills were nice, which I did agree with. So the way it ended, they could have done differently because, small spoiler, there was that whole little segment with the mud. I thought they was going to do something totally different with the mud. They didn't do that with the mud. If you was going to really go there, that would have been the way to go. Since they didn't do that, what was we really doing? Who was lame? The brother? or the predator? Because it clearly looked like this was this predator's first hunt. This predator got dropped off on Earth to prove himself. He was not a seasoned hunter. He was not a veteran predator. This was his first big hunt, and he ended up on Earth for the first time. And Naru.
Now, see, I do know enough about the comics and the Yuan-Ti and the Predators in general to know that they blood themselves on humans, but then like their ultimate hunt is to go hunt an alien. They consider the aliens the ultimate
right.
threat.
The xenomorph ends up being what they consider the ultimate predator as well. But just under that, like this one, you kind of see, you get to see the way they evolve. And he comes and you see how he studies and he's trying to figure out the hierarchy and things like that. So he's like, okay, that looks like a strong thing. Let me go take it on. Boom. Okay, that looks stronger than the other thing. Let me take it on. And he keeps evolving up until we get to the point where we realize man is the ultimate predator. So having an actual predator, and somebody knows it, if one of you guys do, the race that the predators are, Yuan-Ti. We get to see essentially how the Yuan-Ti think. This would have been an opportunity to maybe give us a little more. We get to see how this is his first hunt, in my opinion. Just looking at it, he is not the greatest hunter. He's not. So we get to see him evolve, and his first hunt is against this Comanche female. It's her first hunt. That's a whole big thing. Maybe there's some symbolism in there that was just lost on me. And if it is, I apologize. I was like struggling to get through some of the cinema, some of the stuff I was looking at because it looks so bad. Yes, they did do that in the first movie, which is why it would have, if you were gonna, that's a what's it called? That's not an Easter egg, but what's the thing called in a movie where they show something and they have to use it? It's something.
Chekhov's gun.
That the mud thing was a Chekhov's gun. You showed the mud. You had a scene with the mud. That was supposed to be a callback. If you were just going to use it as an Easter egg, it would have had one effect. The way they actually tried to incorporate it, not so much. B+ showed how you better basically don't underestimate your prey. I can accept that. Okay, cool.
Oh,
I was taken out by little things in this movie.
Okay.
Honestly, I need some water.
There was some continuity things that I had issue with. There was one of the first things, let's just jump right into it. One of the very first things that everybody had some problems with was the fact that all of the characters in the Comanche tribe spoke perfect English. Now, I watch anime, so I absolutely get how if these characters who have these Japanese names and this is taking place in Tokyo, that when they're talking in English, they're actually talking in Japanese, but because I'm watching them interact with one another to allow me to be perfectly immersed, I'm just hearing it translated already. So I can get behind the idea that the Comanches are actually talking in the Comanche native tongue, but as a viewer, I am immersed by watching them speak in Comanche. Cool. If you do that, you can't then use Comanche words in the English language. Pick one. You can't do both. If you do both, then you have like a disconnect every time they actually say a word in Comanche. That's a problem for me. And that was one of those things where, like, I'm aware that they have a version in Comanche, but that is a Comanche dubbed version. The movie should have been shot in Comanche with English dub or English subtitles. Now, the fact that when we see the French, and we hear the French in French, and even the subtitles come up in French, and they don't translate that at all, helped me to understand that we're really just being immersed in the Comanche language. But the fact that there were still Comanche words that either don't translate or can't be translated because they're just Comanche words is a problem when they're talking English the entire time and then have to refer back to Comanche terms for, like, there's a word for the whole idea of the big hunt.
Can't hear you, Sam.
Yeah, you quiet.
I hit my thing, my mic got muted. See, okay. Ooh. It is very rare that I go in on something, but the fact that everybody seems to love this movie Play, I'm trying to figure out what the hell did I miss? Because every time I've liked some shit, y'all was like, "Oh, this was hot garbage, and this is the word." Nope. Not if y'all liking this. Do not come at me talking about this, that, or the other, because the CGI in this movie, horrible CGI. Horrible CGI. But I'll give it a pass because you know what? It was released on Hulu. This wasn't a theatrical release. Because it wasn't a theatrical release, maybe there was a budget cap. But there's little things. Like we actually see a scene where she takes the twine and we watch her pull all the leaves and she makes a rope. After she makes the rope and she attaches it to her hatchet and she throws the hatchet and she pulls it back with her rope, boom, cool. We can still see that it's twine. The very next time we see the rope, they bought that shit at Ace Hardware. I should not be able to see that type of thing. When you do that, whoever was in charge of props, no, I don't want to hear they only had so much money for CGI. I don't want to hear that. You released it, you put the name Predators on it, spend the money. Because the way other people go into some of the stuff, it's like, no. But I am willing, and I did say just a moment ago, I'm willing to accept that there has to be a cap. This was obviously the cap. But the way people are defending and going so hard for this movie, I can't. No, accept that it's a C movie. Let it be a good C movie. Do not try to make it a B+. That's why it's called Pray. Right. You had to pray to get through the movie. Because I started to turn it off. Wow. And then it got good. No, I started to turn it off and then it got good. And I was like, okay, I'll finish it. C-. Kudos to your B+.
And see that C-. Pray was higher up on my list until hearing all this tonight. Now it's moved further back down. Now I've got Lock and Key Season 2, Umbrella Academy Season 3.
Yeah, definitely Umbrella Academy.
Jumped ahead of it now.
Definitely Umbrella Academy. Stop it. I mean, it's not a long movie, and it's literally, and let me say this, and I don't say this like being funny. If you start the movie one day when you're like cooking dinner, you won't miss anything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at any point, you can like look over and, you know, so I don't know. I feel better. I got that out. I had to say something. I'm sorry. Were you not ready?
Oh, no, I was.
Okay.
Because I actually have a comment on everybody talking about budget. It was released on Hulu. I get that. What?
Like Hulu's owned by Disney. They ain't got no excuse.
Huh?
Hulu is owned by Disney. They got no excuse.
Okay, even better. Rings. The new Lord of the Rings movie that's coming out.
Right.
First TV show.
Yes, series.
It's coming out in September. Has a $450 million budget.
Well,
that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
These shows can have big budgets. So basically, they just gave up. I mean,
there wasn't a whole lot there wasn't much to do with to begin with. And that's the part that I'm like really trying to get through. This was not supposed to be some sort of all-star, stellar, high-end, like, no, bruh, no. The thing got a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just like,
what?
I'm really confused. I'm convinced I'm genuinely convinced that people have just decided they're going to like what they want to like and they're going to dislike the things that they don't want to like. Doesn't matter if it's good or not. They've decided ahead of time that they weren't going to like this thing. They find something about it not to like. They latch onto that, and then they don't like it as a result. It's that simple. And I'm not one to necessarily try to change anyone's mind, but Predators 2 was bad.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
Like, that's not a good movie.
Mm-mm.
And I've heard people like try to say it, and maybe they just typed it wrong. Maybe there was a typo, but they were like, "Oh, this is the best one since Predators 2." And I'm like, bro, did you hear what you just said? So you didn't watch Predators 2 is what you're saying. Or you're saying you didn't like any of the other ones. Like, I'm really confused. And the only reason the name Predators 2 is coming up, because there's a whole Easter egg in the damn movie for Predators 2. That's it. That's it. It's the only reason Predators 2 is even coming up. But there's something I want to look up specifically on this one since we talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let me find it. Here we go. There's the wiki. And I'll admit I'm going from the wiki. Okay, it is 100 minutes. So it's not like it's a super long movie. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, you could literally turn it on, watch in the background. You're good. Amber Midthunder, props to her. Shout out to her. She played Naru. Really good. She did well. A couple other people, like some of the other actors and whatnot. You know, I didn't have a problem with the casting. Everybody in the casting was straight. Let me see. Okay, according to 20th Century Studios, Prey was the most watched premiere across all film and television series on Hulu in the United States.
I can buy that.
Wasn't nothing else to watch this weekend.
Not only that, but Hulu doesn't premiere a lot of things. A lot of the stuff that I've seen on Hulu, I've seen. Or
You know what?
It's off of TV. It's not first time you're ever seeing it is on Hulu.
That's funny. They could be like, it was the biggest movie release ever on Hulu. Bitch, this is the third movie y'all have ever released on Hulu.
Ever.
And two of them were direct, like, made by Hulu movies. I'm looking for the information. I want to know what the budget was for this movie. So we're just going to do a quick search. I'm just going to see if I can find it. If either DJ Fat Snacks, Joseph, if either one of you can provide for me the budget for this movie, maybe I'll be a little bit more forgiving if I find out they did it all like in a weekend or something. You know what I'm saying? Or Dan Trachtenberg decided he was going to be the one to front some of the money himself. Then, okay, cool. I'll mess with it. But I don't know nothing about this guy. The only thing I know, let's see. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, because it was like I was, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where they got the rope.
Ooh.
You got a number?
Yeah. 88 million.
How much?
88 million.
Hollywood Reporter says, oh, never mind. That's about It says it had a budget. It doesn't say. Nowhere really says how much their budget was. I see one that says it grossed $60 million on a $15 million budget, but then they also reference the first movie. So
well, the article that I'm reading currently says that it grossed. Dang it! I hate pop-ups.
It did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
It did 51
Trevor
in the U.S. and 160 worldwide.
Can't be. It wasn't a theatrical release.
$88 million budget. But it grossed the most out of any Predator movie.
Okay. Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Okay. Okay, I give him that. 10 Cloverfield was good. This was a step back. This was a step back. But see, they have no box office numbers for this. So that's why I'm kind of like curious as to where we're going to get any information. And everything's probably going to be hearsay or speculation. But it's just like there was no money spent on this movie. And if you tell me the less that you give this movie in terms of budget, the more pleased I would be willing to move it from a C- to like a B- if it's got like a low enough budget. I kind of want to see like in the last 10 years. Is 10 years long enough? Maybe in the last 5 years, movies with the $88 million budget. I would need to look that up. Movies with less than
90 million.
No, I go less than 100 million.
Okay.
Movies with less than $100 million budget. Because 88 million is a lot.
Yeah.
Is there a way to sort by? Okay, we'll sort by release date. IMDb gave me a list. We're going to sort by release date, and we said, 5 years? So yeah. 2022. So anything, it has to be 2017 or better. Let's see what comes up on the list, or if anything comes up on the list. So far, everything seems to be 2008, 2008, 2008, 2009, 7. Okay, so the newest movie, because I have it by release date, so the newest movie is 2012. And that's a movie with less than $100 million.
Mm-hmm. And what is it?
It's called Ill Manners. But you know what? Here's one. I think it makes the cut. 2011, The Raid. Gareth Edwards, released 2011. That was the martial arts SWAT team movie where my man was like going in. Iko Uwais, we thought he was going to be the next action star. He hadn't done bad, but it didn't quite blow up the way we thought. That movie's rated high as hell. A lot of people like that. A lot of people like that movie. And then, of course, you have The Raid and you have The Raid 2. But that was 2011. So apparently, you just can't make a movie these days for less than 100 million.
Yeah.
And with them being at 88 million, okay. All right, B-.
So I didn't see how much Prey made, but Predator earned $98 million on a $15 million budget. So that was the first movie.
But that was also... Go ahead.
Predator 2 earned $55 million on a $35 million budget.
Flop.
And then Predators earned 179 million worldwide on a $40 million budget. So yeah, percentage-wise, Predator and Predators made more money separately than Predators did. So yeah, like, or Predator 2, I mean.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that Predator 2 is like, no. That ain't the movie.
Hot garbage.
I will not call it garbage. Somebody took time, they made the movie, it got released, and it made a profit. Not much of a profit, but it did make a profit.
Yeah.
But
I
it's not
agree
a
with
good movie.
Sam on that one. Like, for me to consider it garbage, they had to have either lost money, or it's one of those, it comes out in the theater and it's gone a week later. You never hear from it again.
Cutthroat
Okay,
Island,
Yep.
Morbius. Those are movies that you can like rightfully call garbage.
All right. Which was it? Morbius released like 4 times though.
You weren't down with Morbid Time?
Look, man, that don't count. That don't count. All right.
We're trying to get it released as a TV series now because we were busy that weekend. We were busy that weekend.
It's
make it a series.
Time,
we're gonna break it up into a 4-part miniseries.
It's not Morbid Time.
Oh.
It will never be Morbid Time.
I don't like Jared Leto. Like I can't get behind him as an actor. He doesn't have charisma to me.
But you know what?
I didn't like him as Joker. I didn't like it. There's not been very many movies that I can think of where I have enjoyed his presence on the screen.
Damn.
See, but that's one of those weird things where it's like, you know what? And this is not to just be like, oh, his Joker was great. His Joker was refreshing because it was different and it fit the Batman he was fighting.
Yes.
As opposed to, let's be lunatics and do crazy things because, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a comic fan, this is me trying to not gatekeep while gatekeeping simultaneously. I'm going to straddle the fence on this part.
He's not going to gatekeep, but he's going to just put a brick behind the door a little bit.
I'm not going to gate. Look, I'm not gatekeeping. The gate is wide open. I'm just standing in the doorway. Okay, you can get around me.
He's the bouncer at the club.
I'm not blocking. I'm not blocking.
Your name's not on the list.
You know what? Everybody is welcome to come in. You just have to check your code at the door. That's all I'm saying. 3 Jokers. Jared Leto's version of the Joker, while he is a very unique individual to begin with, and he doesn't get, like, we've had a whole discussion about character actors, and it's sometimes you have to be a character actor, sometimes you just need to be a good actor. And if you have to rely on being a character actor in order to do any role, then maybe there's a question as to whether or not you're a good actor. But he doesn't. Okay, that's your last one, Jeff.
Hey.
You set the glass down and fell? Okay,
No, the glass didn't fall. My phone fell.
Okay, all right.
So I'm not going to break one of my whiskey glasses now. Come on. I'll break my phone first.
Well, that's replaceable. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? There's he's been in other things that tell me he can act. Does he have charisma? You know. Is he leading man? I'm not like, hey, do you want to go see that new Jared Leto movie?
Exactly. He is not a leading man.
I'm not.
Look, I will agree with that. Not even trying to sit here and say that that's ever going to come out my mouth. But he's a good actor. You know what I'm saying? Like Dallas Buyers Club, he's a good actor.
Requiem for a Dream is the only movie I've ever enjoyed him in.
Do not act like he can't do good movies. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like,
so with Jared, with him, I feel like it's kind of the same kind of hole that Robert Pattinson's kind of in, where everybody kind of knows him for being the sparkly vampire. And this is Leto's sparkly vampire, except he's got tattoos on his face.
Yeah, actually, but see, the funny thing is like that was probably if he had never done the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I think his career would be just fine.
Yeah.
And I honestly think, like, here's the funny part. And you have to, like, really catch the semantics of what I say. Okay?
I'm listening.
Everybody get the clip button ready.
I think if Jared Leto had not done the role of Joker, the movie Morbius would have done better at the theater.
I don't know, man. Morbius is one of those few movies. I put it on, and 20, 30 minutes into it, in the middle of an action scene, I turned it off and started playing a game because I was just like, this is not grabbing me. I can't think of another Marvel-associated movie. Even Shang-Chi and so many other ones. I didn't turn them off. I didn't stop and come back to them later. I was like, no, this is a Marvel movie. I'm watching this.
There's something happening later. I know there's something happening.
Yeah, there's got to be something good. I think part of what happens is even with the Venom movies, where they're associated with Marvel, but they're not actually in the universe. They're like right here. They're nearby. As a Marvel's got such a big thing behind them now. To not have it connect is a disconnect. That was my main problem with Black Widow, Shang-Chi, all that. They had little Easter eggs and cameos, but they didn't necessarily connect to the overall Marvel story that's been told. They were kind of like over here doing their own thing. And it's a Marvel movie, but it's either a prequel or it takes place in a whole other country. And you only see like one or two people from the Marvel movies that you're used to. They're not connected like Doctor Strange 2 or, Infinity War, any of those other ones that we love so much. Those have an overarching, you have to have seen this movie. I could have watched Shang-Chi without watching a single Marvel movie and not been lost.
Can I just say something real quick? Because it just dawned on me that this might become an issue later. I kind of feel like Marvel's shooting themselves in the foot, like not right now, but it might be a problem later down the road, because everything that's worth watching within Marvel is within this Marvel Cinematic Universe, and if it doesn't tie directly to the cinematic universe, it don't hit as hard as the cinematic universe.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I
that's
feel like
happening right now.
Yeah, so I feel like there's
more movies that come out make that a bigger problem.
Right. And I feel like it's going to come to a point where they're going to have more of these side movies than stuff that's in the cinematic universe, and it's going to just cause problems for them later on down the road, because I don't feel like people are going to come out and see that, because like who's going to want to go see Black Widow over Avengers, right? That type of deal.
Without question. I mean, hell, who wanted to go see Black Widows over damn Space Jam?
Oof.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Oh, you didn't have to say it like that.
In the middle,
but it's the truth, man.
No. In the middle of the pandemic, when they started opening theaters back up, when people started being able to go out, I clearly remember being at the theater.
I rather risk COVID than see Black Widow. God damn.
And the funny thing is, wife and I went to the theater. We went to Phipps. We had our pick of seats because there was only like four other people in the theater. When we went to go see Black Widow, there were 4 other people in the theater. But while we were in line, theater full of kids, all going to see Space Jam. And the Marvel fans, no support for Black Widow because, one, her movie came out way too late.
Yeah,
we're no longer invested. We're not interested. This story, like you said, was not tied directly to MCU.
So if this was a Phase 1 movie, it would have been fine.
Oh, it would have blown off.
Yeah, it would have been great.
Her movie. Now it would have changed the story a bit.
It would have, but at the same time, it's just like now It's
Even
it's
if
the
they had
Iron
just
it's the Iron
done it
Man.
after
It's,
damn Civil War,
Yeah.
where
It-
it takes place.
Even if it had come out within 6 months of Endgame,
yeah.
I still wouldn't have had the same disconnect I had when it was a year and a half, 2 years later.
Yeah.
And there's already been so much more that's happened.
Because we already know how the story ends. She falls off the cliff. Like,
right.
Well,
this is
plus,
what we know.
I kind of feel like they did Taskmaster dirty. Like, I wanted more.
Yeah.
The casting of Taskmaster, cool. Gender swap, awesome, great.
I would have
all
rather
for
just
it.
have a Taskmaster movie.
Right, but they made Taskmaster almost a throwaway role.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're going to be in this one movie, and that's it.
Why?
Yeah, I need Taskmaster in several movies.
Taskmaster is cool, man.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Just the fact that we had Crossbones in like 3 movies.
Did we?
Technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that
I remember him being in 1
Civil War
as Crossbones. He was in as Crossbones in 1 movie.
Right.
But that same
actor, well, yeah, that same person
was part of Hydra, and he was there for multiple movies.
They built it up.
So
better.
he got to
I had
be.
to think about it. You're right.
He eventually got to be the character of Crossbones, and then he had like the little power glove thing, and you know what I'm saying? We got to that point, but initially he was an agent, and he was there in Civil War. It was a big deal then, and he was in the elevator scene.
Yeah.
Before we get started, does anybody want to get off? You know what I'm saying? He was a part of that scene, and then we finally get to see him right there at the beginning where he's the main guy that they're trying to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like when everything happens in not Sokovia, hell, I guess they weren't in Wakanda, but when they were in Africa and everything blew up. Do what?
Wasn't Sokovia?
No.
Sokovia was later. That was where they dropped. They dropped Sokovia.
He's talking about the run to the market.
Sorry,
and Wanda spins the thing up and
what caused the sanctions.
I think that was in some nameless African country.
It was
you're right. I'm mixing up time.
Now here's something for you. The disconnect of Marvel ancillary movies, i.e. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, like you're going to run into, like what David was saying earlier, is as they move from phase to phase, there's going to be some gatekeeping there. Okay. You're going to have that issue of, oh, this is much more of a phase 3 movie than a phase 5, or even though it comes out when phase 5 is out, like you're going to run into that as Marvel gets down the road. I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans kind of suffered from that, in that they tried to connect them, but they were out of time. They were out of sync with what was actually coming out in the movies.
Yeah.
So that by the time you watched it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Inhumans,
who cares?
Right, exactly. You had that disconnect of, I already know this from such and such movie. Why am I watching this? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did much better than Inhumans did as far as trying to stay connected and have their own storyline with Ghost Rider and the LMDs. And they had some stuff of their own happening. And they even had Sif guest spot. And they did much better of trying to tie it in. But you're going to run into that as Marvel MCU becomes this bloated universe. You're going to have these movies that come out literally as space or filler because they can't release Endgame Part 2 yet because it's not time. They still got to have this movie, and this movie come out. So to whet your appetite, we're going to release Black Widow 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even with everything that took place in the midst of the pandemic, and in fairness to some degree, I will say like a lot of stuff got changed and dates got moved because they were not releasing movies in the theater because nobody was able to go to theaters. So a lot of that got changed and jumbled and mixed up because we were supposed to get WandaVision at a different time. We were supposed to get Doctor Strange at a different time. We were supposed to get the Spider-Man movie at a different time. And we would have gotten Black Widow at a different time. And I think if you mix those up and do things a little bit differently there, a different story could have been told. It is possible that we could have told a different story. But watching the Black Widow movie and when that took place, that should have taken place after we had Civil War. that should have happened before we got to Endgame. So we get to see where she got the vest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We get to see everything that happened.
We should have been seeing the Red Room, bro. Like, what is
Right.
I would have cried harder in Endgame had I seen Black Widow
Thank
first.
you.
Yeah.
Because I would have
With the
felt
Soul
sad.
Stone. Yeah, right.
Like,
I would have had that emotional depth.
Instead, she just went out like a wet fart. Like, come on now. like I'm sitting here because I'm thinking like, oh man, Clint's gonna die, man.
Right.
God,
I was more connected to Clint.
I was so much more worried about Hawkeye that like her dying wasn't even a factor in my mind. And then she died. I'm like, oh well.
I knew from the get-go when they got in the spaceship and they were going there, I was like, Black Widow's dead. They ain't gonna kill Hawkeye. They ain't gonna show Hawkeye's family that you just met.
No,
and then kill him off.
But
they
see,
ain't gonna do that.
That's the thing. That's why I was thinking that he was going to be on the chopping block because they were giving him all of this stuff, like all this his like I got my family, everything's cool and everything.
And Nat having to be the one to go back and tell the family.
Yeah,
that would be heavy. That would be heavy.
Yeah, but here's the other problem with that though is then they announced that they're going to make a Hawkeye series, or they announced so that lessens the impact because I can't disconnect and think,
slap in the face.
Yeah, who's gonna die here? Wait a minute, they're about to release a Hawkeye series. What's obviously not him. So
right.
But you know what? I do feel like they spent a majority of the Hawkeye show apologizing to Black Widow, building up Haley Stanfield's Kate Bishop, and focusing on Yelena.
Hawkeye was the weakest of the Marvel series that came out. I thought that WandaVision, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all of those tied in way better than Hawkeye did.
See, because it made more sense for Clint to die. Like,
yeah,
it made way more sense. What not wishing that he would have died, because honestly, I kind of like that, but still. It made more sense for him to die because, like, why would you set it up the way that you set it up, and then like, all of a sudden, okay, Nat's dead. There's no punch for that. Like, we got no investment, nothing.
They thought it was gonna have the what a twist
effect
when it didn't,
and then we're just like pass the popcorn, I guess. Like, I don't
like. I mean, it was literally like, oh damn,
yeah, damn, man, that sucks.
Anyway,
time heist. Let's go.
Right, and then of course he comes back, and Jeremy Renner acted his ass off at that moment.
He did.
Like,
he had to sell that shit.
Come on, like he had to be.
Where's Nat?
Hurt for everyone.
Yeah,
I agree.
Hulk throwing the bench was more emotional. Watching that,
but that's all she got was a bench throw.
Yep.
The sun's getting real low, big fella, and he got a bench throw. Nah, bro, I needed some shit destroyed. You are the Hulk.
It didn't feel like she was part of the team at that point. Like,
that should have been a moment where we actually see him struggling to keep himself in check.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah.
At the very least, he'd be like, I need to go. I need to go.
Right, where he was like, guys, give me a minute. You know what I'm saying? And then have Clint come out and talk and be like, you okay there, big guy? And then he's like, and then let the Hulk actually be there for a moment, and then like see him like kind of get himself back under control, and then they have a moment. They both miss that. Like, bro, what the hell? They did Black Widow.
Why did we just write a better alternate version to that
version
movie, bro?
That.
Like, what happened? In like what, 5 minutes?
So pissed off. This was literally, and you know what? I really feel like I'm even happier now. ScarJo got her money after that.
I'm telling you,
me too.
Bro,
this conversation right here makes me so happy she got her check.
Like, you know what? She was on to something. Hold on.
No,
because
I will say this.
I would have watched the whole Red Room show.
That is one of Kevin Feige's few missteps where he's connected everything. Like, where I have to say that he has done a fabulous job of what are we at, like 25 movies now or something? It's something ridiculous.
Close.
Yeah.
So to have a story that arcs through 25 different movies and has me still hooked is something like it. I can't think of anything else that's ever done that. Not even watching Star Trek back in all the different versions of Star Trek or all the different. I can't think of another show or series that has connected with that many open properties that still has me invested.
The only thing that even comes to mind is Scooby-Doo, because it's the only other thing that has that many crossover capabilities and potentials in the life of its run. But even that,
even Supernatural had a couple weak seasons, and I love Supernatural.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they've literally touted it as being the most ambitious crossover, period. And the fact that we got Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, they crossed over 3 times. It got to the point where the crossover movies were no longer crossover movies. Shit was normal.
This was part of the phase. This is what we do.
Like Thor being with the Guardians is just what is.
Yeah.
That's not like, oh wow, Thor's gonna be in the guard. That's what's supposed to happen now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you tell me Thor: Love and Thunder, the Guardians are there. Yeah, of course they are.
I like that. They gave him a project.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I agree with whoever said that. People complain about Hawkeye and Black Widow not having movies.
Yeah, that's DJ Fastnack. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like if they had done
literally anything else.
literally anything else. I could have done a Red Room series. I would have watched that. I would have watched some of her original missions, watching her come over. I would have watched everything. If you did a Hawkeye series with him back when he was like sitting up in the crane's nest watching Thor, like, should I take the shot? We've seen him evolve as a character up until he becomes Ronin, gets his own show. Now we got a spinoff from his show, Echo. What? Okay, fine, whatever. We bring Kingpin back around. Like, now you talk about some red string theory right here, because now we just like throwing darts, making shit happen.
Now, I will say I'm very excited to see where they take Daredevil. That is one thing I'm excited about coming back. Like, he's made his little guest spots in various movies.
You're going to see that. Is it next week on Disney Plus when we get into She-Hulk?
She-Hulk, and there's a couple things coming out the end of this month.
The 18th.
See,
She-Hulk.
And that will also be the return of Professor Hulk. Banner returns.
Now, the problem with that, though, is She-Hulk is going up against House of Dragons.
No.
And we as geeks will watch them both, but I'm curious to the average non-geek, I might watch a Marvel movie here and there, or I might watch, this. I'm curious how it's all going to play out as far as like, is there going to be a clear winner between House of Dragons and She-Hulk? Or are they going to be
House of Dragons?
House of Dragons. I'm not a geek, but House of Dragons is so above She-Hulk.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. She-Hulk is coming out 3 days before House of Dragons.
Not only that, but geeks will watch She-Hulk 2, 3, 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just now watching Game of Thrones for the second time.
I can't with y'all.
What?
Y'all are like, I can't.
Keep in mind the comic stories, they don't have too many good stories. See, here's the funny part. I think that's actually going to work to She-Hulk's favor, because they won't be limited to having they won't be limited to having to follow a specific story arc or anything like that. They can literally just come in and write whatever story they want to write for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to follow this arc or that arc. The only arc that I think would give any problem would be the arc that makes her an Avenger. Showing her go from being trial lawyer up to the point where she's accepting becoming a full-time Avenger. That's where it's going to. Okay. Yeah, that makes okay. That does make more sense. I was like, no, She-Hulk is gonna do fine. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, Hawkeye, Black Widow, because they're B characters. They're B characters. And admittedly, most of the Avengers were B characters. They weren't top tier characters, which is why they had to put them collectively assembled in order to cross promote all of those characters.
Well, I see what you're saying on that. And with them doing all these different series, because if you remember in one of the Avengers movies, they had that little gathering of the new people. And then they started doing all the TV series with those new people. What if there's eventually either a new movie or a new TV series that has all of them together?
Right. Well,
kind of like
David, something I have noticed is that they've introduced certain characters like Hawkeye's Kate Bishop.
Right.
They've introduced the next generation, and I'm wondering if they're building towards the new Avengers,
Young Avengers,
yeah. That could be its own full spinoff.
We haven't gotten Hulkling yet, but we have Speed, Wiccan, Patriot, Kate Bishop. Technically, we have a Miles Morales with Sony.
And technically, you have Iron Lad with Kang. So.
Iron Lad. Well, I'm curious if they will go that route to show us Iron Lad. But if nothing else, because it's MCU, they could still use the kid from Iron Man 2 because he was there at the funeral and he was the one that got a full computer up, like got a full lab rebuilt by Iron Man when he crash lands in the snow and he goes, he's like, give me the kitty cat watch. That was Iron Man 3. So that kid is the one that shows up at the end and he's there at the funeral. They could write it. It would be a change from the comics. I'm with you. I know the problem. But they could write that where he is in fact Iron Lad versus, since we're about to get the whole Kang story with Quantumania, they may just run Kang as Kang.
Yeah.
And if they have him there, they could go the route of Iron Lad with him. And okay, I'm not the only person that's red string in it, but that could be how they get Iron Lad.
And I can see that because especially with the MCU, Kang is kind of convoluted. Following Kang's story in general and of he's this version in here, and he's this version over here, and he's this version in this timeline, and this version of him from the future comes back and does. Kang can be a little convoluted to follow, especially if you're not a diehard comics fan.
Yeah.
So for them to streamline it and make it MCU-able, as I call it, where it's acceptable, it fits in the universe, it's nice and streamlined, it tells a story. I'm interested to see what they do with it.
If we can retcon Peter Parker being the kid at the Iron Man Expo thing, then we can retcon this kid being a version of Kang at some point. Because even in the comics, all the versions of Kang, because they're from different universes within the multiverse, they don't even have to look the same. I'll just say it like that. They can literally look like anything and still be a Kang.
Yeah.
And see,
just like Loki doesn't look the same. He could be any one of those was in fact the Loki of their respective universe. So,
and see, that goes back to my theory about when the MCU casts a different actor, they might act the same, but a lot of the people that like Doctor Strange playing the same version, they all act differently. That I've noticed that through several MCU films now, where they look the same, they act different, but if they look different, they might actually act the same as such and such.
Right.
They do that a lot.
Even Baron Mordo, that was a really good dual role there where he's still playing the same character, but a different version of the same character because it's a different universe, etc. And hats off to, I was about to be funny, but hats off to Benedict Cumberbatch being able to kumquat bubble snatch,
Yep.
I couldn't resist
Cumberbund.
I couldn't resist
Cumberbund. Yep.
But hats off to him in that where he was able to be like 5 different versions of himself. That was impressive. But once you've owned a character and that's your character, you get to do that. So Iron Lad gets to be whoever Iron Lad decides he gets to be. The character that they have doing Riri Williams. We got Ironheart. We have Tom Holland, who's still young enough to be part of Young Avengers, even though technically he's like Save the World, so he's a full-fledged Avenger. But they could go the route of Justice League and like put Shazam in charge of him because like he's still a kid technically. So, he's got good battle sense, but he's still a kid.
Yeah.
So if you put Spider-Man in place of your Miles Morales, since they don't have an MCU Miles Morales, let me be clear as to why. Not because I don't want my MCU Miles Morales, but since Sony is doing their Into the Spider-Verse, they're doing well with that. They're not going to give him up anytime soon. So if you put Spider-Man in for Miles Morales, you'd have to come up with somebody for Hulkling or give us a way to get Hulkling. Since they've been quick to say that, Cousins can't be Bruce. Maybe if like there's a way that they could do it, but they actually did present Dr. Cho in Ultron, in Age of Ultron, and Dr. Cho's son Amadeus Cho is also a version of Hulk who could be a younger version of Hulk and therefore give us our Hulkling. So it could be done. You start playing loose and fast with the casting and, you can do whatever you want to do. But we've got enough characters to give us a Young Avengers now if they want to. Since we know we're doing Secret Wars and we know we're doing Kang's storyline, it's there because Secret Wars is going to bring back. See, I'm curious if Secret Wars is actually going to bring back the Skrulls and make them relevant again.
I mean,
they really only touched on them in Captain Marvel, so they're going to have to tie that back in at some point if they're going to even do Secret Wars because Skrulls are a huge part of Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's no way they can. I'm sorry, you can't write them out of Secret Wars. It's not good. There's too much that happens with them.
But see, there's 2 different Secret Wars stories. And this one is okay. See, he already caught it. Yes, Hulkling is a Skrull. That's kind of where I'm going with it. But if we talk about Amadeus Cho, Amadeus is a regular Hulk. Technically not a regular Hulk because regular Hulk is Hulk. But I get what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with that statement. I was just saying that since they introduced Dr. Cho, they could bring Amadeus Cho, who is another Hulk. Let him be younger. He could be their Hulkling. Hulkling being a Skrull, which is why I asked, since we know we got Secret Wars coming, are they going to go that route? Because right now they're presenting Secret Wars as if it's going to have to do more with Doctor Strange and these incursions, which is the second Secret War story, not the first.
I think they're going to mix them.
And
they're going to streamline it and MCU it and mix it. Yeah, I know. I want them to be separate, but MCU has too much Marvel comics to pull from.
Yeah.
And they're trying to take 40, 50 years of comics and reduce it down to, 10 or 15 years. They've already mixed so much stuff up, but they did it in such a way that we loved it, that we're not upset at them. There's so many continuity things in the original Marvel movies and Easter eggs at the after credits that never came to fruition and all that. Yeah. But the movies themselves did such a good job of tying the stories together. We forgive those little sidesteps. those little one-off Easter eggs that nothing ever came of.
Right.
I'm good with that, because what they've done with the movies, I'm not really, that little Easter egg, I'm not sweating that anymore.
About which part? I know. Did I share the link already? Are you able to hop in? Because I don't want you to have to spend super long time typing.
Oh, unfortunately, it's that time for me, guys. I've got to head to bed here soon, so
not a problem. I understand.
Work comes early, so
we are not
always
far
a pleasure.
Behind. Hey, thanks for hopping on, man.
Yes, sir.
Always, man.
Yes, sir.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye.
We'll give DJ a moment here to tell me which part I might have been wrong on. Let me not say it like that, like I'll fuck what part I might have been wrong on.
Hey, say it real quick.
Oh.
It doesn't have the Roman numeral on it yet.
Yep. Already there. See? Got 9. Got 9. Very nice. Very impressed.
Yours, Sam, unlike certain people.
Damn.
I'm just so used to having a Bic, I forget about my Zippo.
And you know what? I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, Sam doesn't use his either.
Yeah, but he's got his right there. Like, it didn't take him a minute to find his, so you could make that one.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I picked this one up, and right next to it is my Bic. These two are on my nightstand together, because if I go to like this and it don't work,
yeah,
got old faithful.
Well, I also am not sure where I put my fluid.
Under the kitchen sink.
Oh, well, now I know where my fluid is.
There you go.
Somebody knows.
Problem solved. See, that was easy. Let me see here. I'm wondering, like, the story with Scrolls is not the Secret Invasion, not Secret Wars.
They put a helmet and a pillowcase and hit you over and over. Or they bring you the red hot hanger like a cow. That shit's permanent.
Yeah. Okay. Secret Invasions. Yeah.
Hey. Hi, Dad.
What was the other Secret Wars? I'm posting that question to him to see if he can remind me. Feel like there was so there are 2 Secret War stories, and so Secret Wars and Secret Wars 2 and 3. One of them. Let's see, real quick. Let's see, limited. Okay, Beyonder, Enlightenment, Mobster, Dazzler, Doom. X-Men, Alpha Flight Avengers, Deadpool, Corridor Avengers. Okay. It is very likely that I got my Secret Invasion and my Secret Wars mixed up. Secret Invasion. Okay, and Secret Invasion was definitely 100% what I was thinking of, because I was talking about the Skrulls and trying to get back to the Skrulls. So the story with the Skrulls is Secret Invasion, not Secret Wars. The Secret Wars is definitely the story about the incursions that took place, and like, okay, then. So other than Secret, what were the? Let's see. I'm not going to look up the announcements right now, but there were the 2 announcements. No, I just like Secret Wars was one of the announcements, and it was like, was it the Kang Saga, and Secret Wars were the 2 stories that were being promoted moving forward. The Doctor Strange, what's the thing called at the end? They do end credit. The Doctor Strange end credit leads more towards going into Secret Wars because that's going to get into like all the incursions. So I was just trying to get us to Young Avengers and the Hulkling and how we were going to get, you know, a scroll and get the scrolls back relevant. Because, hell, we can't wait until we get all the way around the Secret Invasion, the TV show. What the hell happened to Armor Wars anyway? Where I ain't got my Don Cheadle. I was looking forward to some Armor Wars. I guess he made his cameo in
he got his Avengers money. He's good.
Right. With a soldier, we ain't seen nothing else since.
Nah, man. Nah, you want all that other stuff that requires work.
Because you know, he 50 years old. Damn.
I'm too old for this.
Got hit with damn.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Invasion, spring 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Secret Wars, if we survive that long, will be 2025. Like the end of the year.
If the heat death of the universe doesn't happen.
Right.
I done told you hanging out for 900 years.
We have a Secret Invasion that is a show in Phase 5. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that part is Phase 6. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm just I was definitely thinking the scrolls, and we got to get the scrolls back in. And
that'll be next spring.
Yeah, and just kind of forgot and slipped Secret Wars, Secret Invasion, two different things. It's, you know what? That falls in the same category as like when you talk about the Infinite Crisis. You're like, which one? There's so many Infinite Crisis in DC. It's like you have to be very clear, very specific. But that is well, thank you. Thank you for correcting me. So I'm not out here putting out misinformation and getting people the wrong thing, having they reading lists all messed up. They go read Secret Invasion and then be like, wait, what the hell? This ain't what's happening. This ain't got nothing to do with incursions.
It's crazy.
And then be all confused and mad and not coming back and not subscribing, joining our Facebook group, and joining us every Wednesday.
Damn, that's good. Damn, look at that segue. That's crazy, bro. What?
Crazy
segue. He's insane with it.
I'm just, it's a gift, really, and a bit of a curse. Because I'm always like, anytime I can't think of a way to get from one thing to the next, I have to literally get very random just so I can segue it the way I want.
Nah, I feel it.
And it's like it throws people off. So I try to make sure that I'm always kind of on par and moving the way I want to. We are at the 2:43 mark. We got about 15 minutes. We're gonna wrap. Hatman, talk to me. Tell me something good. What's new? What's different? What's great? Anything in the world of game anime that you can highlight real quick?
I got you. So, the reason I've been so busy past couple weeks because I've been preparing for a couple of things, but the big thing that I was preparing for, not that I went because I'm broke, but the one thing that I was preparing for was Evo. The fighting game tournament happened this past weekend, and a lot of shit got announced. And I got a list here that I can go run through real quick if you will so allow me to.
Give me 2 seconds. Boom. Boom. All right. Give me a nice little opening because, of course, this is making the TikTok and we're going to tag you in it. So this will be up for you as well with all our hashtags. I done learned some hashtags.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. All right. Bet. So Evo 2022 happened. It was great. Everything happened. Lots of fighting games happened. Lots of upsets and Punchy Boys happened.
Punchy Boys got mad.
Punchy boys got punched in the face, but
everybody got to play until then.
Everybody got to play. But what happened was a bunch of announcements happened. So,
Okay.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had been in licensing hell for 15 years, something like that. It was just announced that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is getting an arcade one-up machine. So if you got an extra $600 to burn, you can get yourself an arcade cabinet that has Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighters, and more.
600, you say?
600.
I will be back. Will it done? Okay.
And you can also play. And you can also play it online. So there you go. Boom.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Yes.
So my one-up coin arcade, like my one-up console, like the things they made.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Centipede, we got the Mario, the Street Fighter, we got the Ninja Turtles. That company is now making a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with a collection of how many games was that?
8 games. So we got MVC 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighters, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, and Marvel Superheroes and War of the Gems.
And I can play that bitch online.
And you can play that bitch online.
Bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Gotta have it. I just need, you know what? I think I got 350. I just need about 350.
I don't got the money, but like sometime in the future, if it's happening, I'm gonna get it. But next announcement, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax got this rollback netcode update. They said earlier in the year that it was gonna get the update. We didn't know when. They dropped it on us that day, and it's been working fine ever since. It's been lovely. I love it.
Okay. Persona 4 news, always good.
Of course. We got Umbral Core trailer. I have no idea what this fighting game is, but it looks cool. So I can't give you too much info about that, but it looks good. It's an indie developed fighting game, and those are always awesome. Guilty Gear
Core.
Yes, Umbral Core. Guilty Gear Strive got its roadmap for season 2. So that's going to include the crossplay updates at sometime this fall. But we also got the reveal that we're getting 4 more characters. And the first one dropped the other day, which is Bridget, which is a returning fighter. She is great. She's awesome. It's like they never changed her from her previous incarnations. It is amazing. We stand Bridget. Also, Arc System Works says trans right. So boom, there you go. Next thing, King of Fighters 15 is getting crossplay. So if you got the PC version and you've been mad because your homie got it on the PS5, guess what? Y'all can play together now. That's going to happen later on, but now you can play together. Okay. Also, Samurai Showdown. It's going to be playable. I know it's the
OGL throwback.
Yeah, the game came out, and I thought it was supposed to come out in 2019, but that was just like a working beta. But now it's getting rollback, so now it's actually playable. It will be playable in spring of 2023. It's gonna be great.
I remember that because I tried to download it for Xbox. Never happened.
Never happened. Never happened. It's like the game never existed. All right, next thing. If you play Skullgirls, you should know this. Marie, the final boss of Skullgirls, is going to be playable. She's coming sometime in 2023. It's going to be amazing. All we got was a trailer, nothing more. Next thing, Multiverses. We got a season 1 roadmap. Also, if you weren't aware, the Multiverses tournament at Evo had a $100,000 prize pot. So if you're still playing Smash Brothers, you are on the wrong bus. Switch to Multiverses now. But yes, we got the season 1 roadmap, so now we're finally going to be getting ranked mode. Rick and Morty will be coming to the game as 2 separate characters. Rick and Morty. LeBron James is going to get a Robin skin, and Bugs Bunny is going to get a Valkyrie skin. It's going to be great. We have no set release date, but it is coming at some point this year, I believe.
Okay.
All right. Next thing, Dragon Ball FighterZ is finally getting rollback. There is a god. Bandai Namco finally announced that Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting rollback update, but There's a bunch of bullshit with it. You have to. It can't be simple. It can't be simple. So you have to upgrade your current copy of Dragon Ball FighterZ, because if you have it on console, you have to upgrade it to the current version, because apparently if you have a PS4, you're stupid.
All I got to do is get an exclusive, hard to find PS5.
Yes.
And then
yes,
I can get the rollback version. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
you can.
Cool.
Yeah, but if you got PC, you ain't got to worry about that.
See?
Yeah. Speaking of King of Fighters 15, you are getting more DLC characters. The next team of characters that are coming is going to be from Samurai Showdown. So you're going to get Haomaru, Nakaruru, and Darlie Dagger from the most recent Samurai Showdown. Boom. There you go.
That's such an awesome game.
Yeah, and there's going to be 2 other characters. Kim and Shingo are coming at some point next year. So, have fun with that. There's a new Fatal Fury game coming. So they remembered that Fatal Fury is a thing. So yeah, Fatal Fury and Garo title has been officially greenlit and it has started production. We will see it at some point. Also, there's a new Tekken project in the works. They teased it. We don't know if it's Tekken 8. It might be. We don't know. But it's coming.
Just know that Tekken is coming.
There's a new Tekken. We don't know what it's going to be, but it's coming. More punchy boys.
Okay.
More Mishimas throwing each other off cliffs. It's going to be great. We got new looks we got more characters coming for Street Fighter 6. A newcomer, Kimberly, who is a ninja, and she's black and she has braids, and it's great. And then the returning fighter Jury, which had the internet in a chokehold because everybody did not realize they had a foot fetish, but they do now. Also, if you are in the know, Tasty Steve and James Chen are going to be in-game commentators for Street Fighter 6, so get hype. Yes. And I think that was it. Yep, that was it. That was
lot, though.
That was a lot. There was a lot of things. Oh, also, Grand Blue is getting an online tournament circuit, but that doesn't have rollback, so that's no. So that's not gonna happen. But yes, yeah.
That just if we can address Jury for just a moment.
Yes.
So read me the part. What's happening with Jury? Because I heard the new character that's coming.
Yeah, Kimberly is the new character. She's black. She's a ninja. She looks awesome. She looks a lot like Ibuki and Guy. It's going to be great. And then we have Jury. If you remember from her first game in Street Fighter 4,
she had the weird dance.
She had what?
The weird dance in the hammer pants.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you said foot fetish, and I immediately remembered. So
yes, yeah, again, that's why she had the internet in the chokehold. Boom. So yeah, there were all the Evo announcements that happened. Summed up in like what, like
this.
Yeah, so there's Kimberly right there. Boom. Whoa, man, she's looking real good. I am really hyped for Street Fighter 6. I have not been this hyped for a Street Fighter game in a long time.
See that? Yeah, that's not the Chucks.
Got some primary Lotus going. Boom.
Nope.
And she beats you with the power of graffiti and music. Boom.
I am like, I mean, maybe I'm reaching, but why am I seeing? I'm seeing a lot of Miles Morales inspired movement right there.
She got a little Miles in her. And now there goes Jury. Also, I like to point out with the Jury, they changed her outfit. Everything's cool about her. They just made her hornier. You'll see what I mean. Yeah. Okay. That's not even the horny part. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But she looks good. She looks really good. I haven't been the biggest Jury fan myself, but she looks really good. I'm glad that she's back.
A solid fighter, especially with her specials.
Yes. Oh yeah. When you want to talk about specials, they're coming. that super's coming. Yeah, got your install super, makes you stronger, makes you do more moves. Yep. And here we go. Here it is. Congratulations, you have a foot fetish now. Kiki. Yes. Kiki. She be Kiki.
Kiki girl.
Kiki
I
girl.
see.
We got Kiki girls and our punchy boys. Let's go.
That's how it has to go down. You know what? I pulled up the other one you mentioned towards the beginning. Umbro
Core.
That one.
Hmm.
Pulled that up and pulled up a little Fate of Fury just to see what they had for that. And announcement clip. We'll pull up this little 40-second segment. Just because I think this is definitely worth seeing, just because I think it needs to be noted that
yes, it looks really good. I don't, for an indie title, this looks really good.
It really does. And the character types.
Yeah.
It definitely has a timepiece theme attached to it.
Yeah.
It's not quite sword and sorcery. It seems like it's a little more modern than that, but it is. Those characters are very. Let me see if I
it's giving Bloodborne a little bit.
Right around that time period. I was trying to think of which was a correct century to call.
Yeah.
Not quite medieval, but it had like what was I looking at the first time? Oh, I was looking at the actual Evo preview, which had a couple of the little characters, and it's a few rounds there. That's the company, A Few Round Games.
Yeah.
And so this guy Byron has sword, little claw, but then we've got a Morgan, witchy girl with wings.
Yeah.
Dude with a hammer, kind of looks a little orcish, a little dwarfish. So they got some. It looks like there's going to be a couple of different characters to choose from on this, and I'm always up for that.
Oh yeah. And then jumping away from the games and stuff, as far as anime goes, I haven't been really following much. I did finally catch up with Kaguya-sama Love is War, and that was a surprising. It was a refreshing anime. It was a cute little rom-com. Yeah, so if you like your rom-coms and like funny things, it's a good watch. I would highly recommend. And then also Ruby Ice Queendom has been going.
What episode are we on that?
6.
Because the first series did like 4 episodes. Episodes 1 through 4, was it?
Yeah, so it's all the same season. They just released like the first 3 episodes in like one big YouTube video.
Right.
But now you can we're up to episode 6, I think. And this is it is a season. It is a season for sure. I am.
Now is this are we back on Rooster Teeth for the remaining episodes, or is everything still YouTube?
I have been watching it on I've been watching it on Verve, so I'm not entirely sure what service it's on. I think it's Crunchyroll.
You've been watching on Verve?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a little upset because I can't find mine on Verve. But okay.
Really?
I could not find Ice Queendom on Verve. I will specifically search, but
yeah, give it another look, because I literally just watched the last episode at work. So yeah.
We are out. We are headed to bed.
Cool.
I enjoyed, and I guess we'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll let y'all next week. I'll be in touch with you, man. Hit me later.
All right, we'll do.
That does not mean you have to call me at 10 in the morning and be like you said, hit me later. I just at some point in the future, contact me and we'll communicate.
My man.
All right.
All
My
right,
man.
Later.
you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to be clear. Last time I was like, "Yo, hit me later." Call me the next morning. It's like, "You good?" It's like, "What? Yeah, I'm fine." It's like, "Okay, well, you said hit me later."
Yeah. Well, I mean,
As a term of endearment, at some point, call me.
but
Not
yeah,
saying like drop what you're doing and hit me up.
yeah. But yeah, no,
Let's see.
yeah. Ruby Ice Kingdom is it's going a little crazy. I like the storyline right now,
Cool.
man.
All right, there it is. Let's add to watch list. So the YouTube video did episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Cool.
Basically setting up how the story is gonna go. And then you get into the nitty gritty. So like I was initially thinking, this is pretty much a Weiss story.
Right. Well, I mean the title kind of.
Yeah. This is very much a Weiss story, but it kind of I don't want to say too much because it like if I say like the wrong thing, it'll pretty much give away like everything up until this point.
I mean, the fact that they're kind of redoing the way it was before, I'm with it. Because initially I was like, are we about to like do the whole series over from a different perspective? Like, is that what we're doing?
Nah,
but then I saw that they changed out the way the story is going. So I was like, okay.
It's a whole different storyline, man.
Right. I mean, because they jumped through some stuff so quick that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is totally different.
Yeah, there's like this is where this storyline takes place. There you go. But
I'm trying to get some more details about the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade game from 1UP. Pre-order September 8th.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. Cookies. All right, fine. Whatever. Move. Ships to US and Canada only. Note, your credit card will be charged in full once you place your order. Noted. Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
good to know.
That's why I'm like, I love that this is happening, but I hate it because I can't afford it. That
is
eventually, if it's still available, I'm gonna do it, but I can't right now. But
I just need their confirmation on it comes. Okay, no, there it is. All right, there it is. I see it. Wow. Okay. Features 8 classic titles.
Yeah.
Yep. You got them all.
Are we going to the theater for Dragon Ball Z? Yes.
That is what Dragon Ball Z superheroes.
Yes. Yeah, we are. We're at least on this side, we're planning on it. Planning to go see that because we would on Friday. This Friday?
No, the Friday.
Oh, the Friday of, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're planning on doing the Friday of. Because I'm specifically not looking up anything about that game, so I can go in like fresh. I mean, that movie. I'm trying to go in fresh.
I saw one little trailer thing for it, and I was like, "Oh, they're back." Okay.
Yeah.
And I stopped there.
I know literally nothing. I saw that this is a Gohan story, and this is it. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I have been skillfully dodging trailers because I've been so disappointed in Dragon Ball like so far that I need something, you know. I need something to get my hopes up again.
Maybe this, and we will. When's that? What's the release on that? Because that is.
You saw it already, but you're still going. I feel it. I feel that.
It be that way. You got us. You know what? I was gonna finish that sentence, but I'm not gonna finish that sentence. But good for you,
yo. Hey, yo.
Good for you for still going. I'll just say that. But because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I just want to know. No, actually, I don't want to know. I'm gonna wait. I just honestly, what I really want to know is how how is this going to tie into the main story? Because that story needs something now. Because I'm.
So yeah, that releases Thursday, August 18th.
Yes, so we'll be going the day after.
Cool.
Because the group that we're going with, it'll be easier for them to go on a Friday.
Not at all. So see, that helps. If it's a standalone and completely separate, then good.
Okay, then that's okay. Then that's fine. I will watch this movie and continue to be disappointed in the main storyline because I don't know where all this is going anymore. It's all crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I gave up, but I'm comfortably walked away for some time now.
I'm still following the story. I'm reading the chapters as they come out, but I'm just like, come on, man. And then like, so now Bardock is a thing in canon now because like he fucking made a wish that his children will prosper and whatever, and apparently that's helping Goku do the things. And I'm like, oh come on, man. Oh god.
Yeah,
Toriyama, what the fuck, man? Come on, man.
I don't know. For me, movies, my next big thing is I want to check out Bullet Train.
Yeah, Bullet Train looks good.
I do want to see Bullet Train. I'll probably catch Super at some point soon, just because, or Superhero.
I mean, obviously, Wakanda Forever is going to happen. Like, of course,
it's no question. Well, I mean, I've got time on that. This is
I got time.
This is the next little bit. I do have to get my all white outfit for that though.
Yeah, I gotta find an all white. I gotta put together something.
Apparently it's been decided by the collective that we're doing.
We got to do it for the culture and all that.
Right. So I will be doing my part.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say that. Bullet Train is good. Stop it. This is a live show. This is going to be replayed later. But I'm sure it is. I was a little concerned because, again, like I said, well, you may not have heard earlier when we were talking. I was just like, is everybody about to do the John Wick thing? Are we about to see all these aging actors go back and try to recapture their youth with these action movies? But
guns everywhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally guns.
Like it kind of works with Keanu because we've watched him evolve to that.
Yeah.
And you know, that's cool. And he does it for real. So it just adds to it. I don't see Brad Pitt hitting the range like that, practicing his jiu-jitsu. But when I watch this movie and I see all these little fight scenes with him, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, that's what we doing?
That's what we doing, man.
All right.
That's what we do.
So now we got to get Jake Gyllenhaal in we have Ryan Gosling, we have Brad Pitt, we have Keanu Reeves. Ryan Reynolds did it with Hitman's Bodyguard and Deadpool, technically. Tom Hopper hopped in there with Hitman's Bodyguard or Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Who else are the young leading that need to jump back in and get on this? Who's been doing drama? Now that Pattinson jumped into the Batman, he could be part of the group. We need to find us a very calm drama person, maybe somebody who's only done period pieces and put them. But you know what? Even what's kind of funny when I think back when we did Kingsman, Colin Firth jumped in there and did action for that, and it worked out really well for him because I was very pleased with that. The first Kingsman.
Yeah. No, I feel it. I'm with you on that.
Second one wasn't bad. I enjoyed it as well, but not like I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
Where is everything?
And the King's Man with Fines. Okay. You could have just gave me Kingsman 3 or something. I would have been good with that. I didn't need the King's Man. That was just a weird. But it shows the origin story in the background of the Kingsman, so that was cool. Yeah, we'll have to plot on that. Maybe that'll be something on one of the upcoming shows we're getting ready to do. We've got a new show that we're going to be putting together here pretty soon. We don't have a final name for it, so I can't announce it till we decide on the name. But we'll do some fun stuff with that one. And there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to come on and be a guest for that. It'll be a 4-person show, and that'll be a recorded show, not a live show, and more details coming.
Word.
But if you've made it to this point, we love you. Thank you so very much. You are obviously subscribed. And if you're not, go ahead and click that QR code up there in the corner.
Yeah, man.
Join us every Wednesday that we do it. I try to make it most Wednesdays. We've only missed, 2 Wednesdays so far. We've been pretty consistent with this, and I love that. Wednesdays, 9:05, weigh-in Wednesdays, where we get to talk about all these great things, and we do what we do. We live, we laugh, we love geek culture. Bring your comments, questions, hot takes. Be a part of the show if you choose. Links are always posted.
Talk to me.
Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on YouTube. You can follow our Twitch, or you can follow our Facebook. However you choose. We thank you for being here with us. We've had a good time. I've had a good time tonight. I think Dave's had a good time tonight. He's been a part of everything, which is always good because when we lose him, we lose him. If we talk about shit, he goes away. But he's been with us, and I love it. But for myself, for David, for Grown A Geeks as a whole, we're going to get out of here. We're going to holler at y'all later. Peace.